I might just flash out on my pappy for that whole shit that he did. How you fucking on my mama, but couldn't take care of your kids? What's the point of calling you daddy when you never was a father? And what's the point of reaching out when a nigga ain't ever even bothered? So what's the point of me talking? I picked the same kind of BD. What's the point of him being 32, fucking me at 17? What's the point of being sad? They just gon' label you as fast, cause you know dope boys not pedophiles long as they get in the bag. So what's the point of being mad? You better off not giving a fuck. They be screaming they hate P. Diddy, but still love they uncles. What's the point of keeping secret if he a threat to all the nieces? And why y'all hurting all the angels so you can protect all the demons? I might just flash out on my pappy for that whole shit that he did. How you fucking on my mama, but couldn't take care of your kids? What's the point of calling you daddy when you never was a father? And what's the point of reaching out when a nigga ain't ever even bothered? So what's the point of me talking? I picked the same kind of BD. What's the point of him being 32, fucking me at 17? What's the point of being sad? They just gon' label you as fast, cause you know dope boys not pedophiles long as they get in the bag. So what's the point of being mad? You better off not giving a fuck. They be screaming they hate P. Diddy, but still love they uncles. What's the point of keeping secret if he a threat to all the nieces? And why y'all hurting all the angels so you can protect all the demons?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and let's talk live. Kim Porter, the Untold Story. All right, let's talk. Well, today, peoples, has been such an interesting day. I am here, I am live, and I am going to talk about some things, peoples. Peoples, Kim Porter, the Untold Story. You guys come on in. You guys come on in. You guys come on in, for there's so much to talk about, peoples. You guys come on in. Peoples, Kim Porter, the Untold Story. Now, there's been many accounts about Kim Porter, peoples. There's been many stories that Kim Porter has said and did in her lifetime. There's many people who have talked about Kim Porter, and they said that Kim Porter had written a memoir. Now, many people believe that the memoirs is true. And many people believe that the memoirs is false. But I let you be the judge as to what you believe is what is speaking to you. I said I let you believe what is speaking to you. And so, peoples, you know how we always do it. We always get in here and we always just get to the nitty gritty. Now, there is a young lady who I want to call out and give some shout outs to, and her name is Cicely Jamelia TV. And she is the voice that is going to be reading the Kim Porter memoirs. I said she's going to be the voice for the Kim Porter memoirs, peoples. And so just momentarily, we're going to play her audio for the memoirs of Kim Porter. And so as you can see, peoples, when you look at this thumbnail, her name is Kimberly Antoinette Goodwin Porter. She was born on December the 15th, 1970. And she died on November the 15th, 2018. And it's amazing, peoples, how she died on the 15th of each month. And it was just 1 month before it would have made it both December. From 1970 to 2018. And I'm just amazed because, peoples, I was just born 3 years before her. So Kim Porter was a baby to me. She was just like a sister to me in age, peoples. And it's amazing how this young lady had lived her life. You know, she was Clyde Davis' secretary or something to Clyde Davis. You know, she had worked for him. And that's how Diddy and she became best friends, lovers, and the likes. And so people's, I can't tell the story like many of the people because see, I don't know the full history of Kim Porter. I don't. I know that she had married and had a baby from Al B. Shore. She had a secret affair with Tupac Shakur. As you can see, they were at some type of event, and Kim Porter had wore the shirt of Tupac on her shirt. And then down at the bottom, there you see Tupac and Kim Porter, which it was a secret affair. And then, as you can see on the right, on the thumbnail, you see the skull of Tupac Shakur. And then somebody had imposed a image of Tupac up on that skull. And you can see that it is Tupac that Diddy is representing. And it's amazing to me how Diddy had such a disdain for Tupac that he had to engrave his image of a skull of Tupac on his chest, peoples. I said Diddy had engraved a skull like image upon his chest of Tupac, as you can see, peoples. Diddy did that. I said Diddy did that. And so, well, what I'm going to do, people, is this. I'm going to let you guys see these pictures real quick of what I put together. And thanks. And then we're going to get into this video, peoples. Is that all right, peoples? All right. So first, we're going to let me go ahead and let me share my screen real quick. And then we're going to get into this, peoples. And so before I get into this, let me give a shout out to my peoples. I see my peoples came in. Hello, Gina, to you, B. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on today. Gina to you has says, greetings, Edward and everyone. And so peoples, if I don't give a shout out to you early on or at any point in the live, that means I am not seeing the chat. I don't see the chat all the time. So don't get upset if I didn't call out your name. I'll get back around to it whenever I get to the point to where I will show the chat. I don't see the chat all the time. So, I don't know when you guys are making the post and things. Oh, well, then yes, I do, because it has a timestamp on it. But anyway, I don't look at the chat all too often when I am doing my live, because a lot of times it's a distraction, and a lot of times you guys are not referencing anything that I am saying within the live. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I don't call you out, that means I don't see the chat. Is that all right, peoples? And so Gina to you has says, happy 4th of July to everybody. To me, to you, to everybody that's watching in the live, everybody that's going to watch the live. Happy 4th of July from Gina to you, and from Edward Joseph to all of you. Happy 4th of July, peoples. Stay indoors, hunker down, because it's going to be a very loud sound outside. And it's unfortunate. Many people is going to get killed tonight, peoples. Peoples is going to be at the parties and all of these, 4th of July events and things. We stopped going out a long time ago on 4th of July because it just got way too crazy. Way too crazy. Bullets is flying everywhere and things like that. So I'd rather take my chances at home than to be out there on the road. Do you understand what I'm saying? I said, I'd rather take my chances at home and watch the fireworks on my TV than to be out and about in things. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, we can celebrate 4th of July in the daytime, but at nighttime, it ain't safe to be driving the streets. But you do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do. Is that all right, peoples? And so I see my other friend that came into the house. Hello, Jada Wu. And Jada Wu is looking. She's looking, peoples. Jada Wu is in here, and Jada Wu is saying, well, I'm here and I'm ready to see what's about to happen in this Kim Porter, Antoinette Goodwin case. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? And so I'm going to be covering the Chicago shooting out there. I'll probably do it later on tonight. It'll be a midnight special if I do it, because this is going to take some time, this live is, and whatnot. But I may cover it tomorrow. But either way, I am going to cover it, peoples. And so, like I say, I don't know the rapper. I've just found out just the other day that the rapper was a woman. I thought it was a guy, but it was a girl. And she's a tough cookie, boy, and she can rap her ass off, and she looks good too. When we come to find out, it was her boyfriend and close friends that end up getting killed. And so when I saw the video and I saw the black car come up, I said, no, this wasn't, this was a target hit. This wasn't something that just, arbitrarily just happened. This was a target hit. And I think that they were trying to take her out, but instead they took her man and her friends out. But see, people, I've always said, and see, I'm a spiritual person. My God. Now, I don't know what God that you serve, but I said, my God, peoples, doesn't like ugly. And it's written in the 10 Commandments, peoples, that thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. And yet these people continue to keep killing. But see, that's okay, people. They may have thought that they got away with it now, but that's not so, because see, the Lord told us in his word, he said, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. I will do the repaying. And all of these things that you do, peoples, at some point in time, it's going to come back. It's going to come back on you, and you will have to pay the price for the various things that you do, because the Bible tells us, he said, be not deceived, for God is not mocked. Whatso a man soweth, there shall he also reap. And just for the same thing that happened to Kim Porter and to all of those people who had died in Chicago, and we send out our condolences to the family of the victims of senseless killings, peoples. We send our condolences to the family of Kanika Jenkins and Zaire Walls and Kendrick Johnson. We send our condolences to them, peoples, because this is senseless killings. Senseless killings, people. We send our condolences to Sandra Bland, peoples, and all of the other victims. Shanquilla Robinson. We send our condolences to the family. And all of the other victims, peoples. I'm gonna do a live and I'm gonna speak about all of the victims that I know of, that I've heard about, and that I have talked about on my live. We're going to do a special tribute to them all. so the people can remember the various things about them and the tragedy that unfolded. And people, you guys got to excuse me. I don't know. I may have a sense of COVID or something. I don't know. But I slept under a fan all day long and all night long. And now it's just like, it's just a little dry cough now, and I just can't get rid of it. But it's subsided substantially. It was just blazing hot out here, and I had the fan just blowing all in my face and stuff, and it just dried my lungs. And now, it's coming back, but I still got this little dry cough that I have, but it's not as bad. And so I've been drinking a lot of warm and hot tea, as hot as I can get it, to get that warmness down into my chest. And when I did that, it started to break up that flame and stuff, and all of that stuff start to come out. So it's a little bit in there that just is refused to come out. But the devil is a lie. I said the devil is a lie. Now my voice is coming back. You guys heard my voice was a little raspy on last night and things, and I tried to talk and stuff, and it tried to silence me. But I said, no, I'm going to press through this thing, even if I have to really bellow out. And I did, and I got through it. And so now my voice is almost back to full capacity. But I'm here, peoples. I'm here, and I am live. And I know that there is many people who do not like what I have to say, but I don't give two rats' asses, peoples. I really don't. Because see, the thing is, I have to call it the way that I see it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so, to be frank with you, peoples, I do believe the Kimberly Antoinette Goodwin Porter memoirs. I do believe that she had drafted that, and she had left that for the people to understand and hear of what she had to endure. Now I get it, and I heard it many times. Well, the family denies it. Well, but my thing is simply this: who's the family? Because see, the thing is, the only family was the kids. The only family was the kids, and the kids was way too young to even know anything. And the only other family was Diddy, and Diddy denied it profusely. The kids denied it, but the kids was way too young to even know who their mother was, peoples. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, there's the guy who had stated that he was able to obtain Kimberly memoirs and things like that. And people wanted to say that, well, he was the one who had conjured all of that stuff up and doctored it up and had written that. But there was a guy who had published it. And we're going to play a little bit of his interview with Dialogue. This YouTuber called Dialogue. We're going to play a little bit of that live, and when he was interviewing the one who had published this book. And so you believe what you want to believe, peoples. I've always said that. You believe what you want to believe. Is that all right, peoples? I'm only here to give you what I believe, but you believe what you so do choose, peoples. Is that all right, peoples? All right. I see my peoples came in. Hello, Island Girl 49. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on today. Island Girl had says, hi, everyone. And Gina to you had says, greetings, Jada. And Island Girl 49 had says, hello, everyone. And Gina to you had says, Island greetings. All right, people. So you guys sit back, relax, and we're going to get into this. Let me share my screen, peoples. I have a better shot of the tombstone of Kim Porter. And so I'm going to share my screen, peoples. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to take a look at that. And so let me get the audio there as well. And let's take a look at the picture of Kimberly Antoinette Goodwin Porter. Oh, it's still the same thing. Okay. So somebody superimposed all of this up on the tombstone. I thought that I had the picture without all of that, but I guess I don't. But anyway, here's the tombstone without the other pictures and things. And it says, once upon a time, there lived a black goddess, queen, mother, best friend, one of the greatest beings God has ever created. We love you. We miss you forever. And that was written upon Kim Porter's tombstone, peoples. I said that was written upon Kim Porter tombstone. And so, peoples, let me scroll through real quick. And we're going to look at this here. And so let's look at this one right here, peoples. Let's take a look at right here. So let me share my screen. Let me share my screen again, peoples. And let's look at this particular picture here, peoples. And there it is right there. There is Tupac Shakur. There's Tupac Shakur, and then there is Kim Porter at some event. And Tupac had a bottle of Tanqueray. I know that. I know that bottle anywhere because a friend of mine used to drink Tanqueray. Now, I've never drank Tanqueray. I don't even know what it tastes like and stuff, but she used to drink Tanqueray. And yeah. And I know that bottle and that cap anywhere. That's Tanqueray. Now, one of these days, I'm going to get around to drinking a little bit of Tanqueray to see what it tastes like. I mean, shit, my friend loved it. So, you know, and she's got some good taste. So that Tanqueray must be something good. But see, I don't want to buy no big bottle of it because if I don't like it, then I got to give it away. And I can't give it to her because she ain't drinking it no more. She don't drink no more. So I got to give it to somebody. But there it is right there, people. There it is. Tupac Shakur. And there's Kim Porter. You know, there she is right there, people. And they said it was a secret affair. Not a family affair. It was a secret affair, peoples. Kim Porter and Tupac. And so, you know, hey, if that's what she wanted to do, that's what she wanted to do. And that's what she did, peoples. I said, that is what she did, peoples. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so they said that she had an affair with Tupac. Well, let's look and see what let's look and see what what's going on here, people. There's Kim Porter. And these are all one of them are, I guess all of them is her sons. You know, yeah, all of them is her sons. And look what Kim Porter had did. She wore the shirt of Tupac. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Kim Porter had won the shirt of Tupac. And Kim Porter said, "Look, Diddy, I don't give a rat's ass what you say or what you think. I'm going to wear the shirt of Tupac, and this is what I want to do. This is what I want to show to the people." And that's exactly what she did, peoples. And Kim Porter had says, "Look, that's my man." And what I just found out was that Tupac had made a song, and in the lyrics he was talking about this issue right here, and he had diss Diddy. Go on, Kim. Girl, you know you are something nice, boy, I tell you. And then look, this is on Diddy's chest right here. This is an engraved image of Tupac. This is a picture of a skull, as you can see. And y'all see, that's how Tupac wears his head right here. And this is a skull. Y'all see that, right? And that's Diddy. So he has all of these other tattoos all on him and stuff, and you know he's wearing a cross with diamonds and stuff on it and things. And it's amazing, people, is how these devious, devilish, and demonic people all the time wanting to signify that they are Christ-like. And want to have a symbol of a cross, but ain't never stepped foot in a church at all, not one day in their lives. It's amazing, people. You know, symbolism is real, and everybody wants to portray themselves as being a Christian. But now somebody superimposed Tupac's face upon that tattoo. And now there it is right there. You see it right there, people. You see it right there. Have this man's face up on his chest. And it's just like King Kong. So every time he beats his chest, he's beating on Tupac. You see? You see how the story goes, people? You know, we're going to get into this. We're going to get into this, people, because this shit is so deep. This shit is so deep, it's just crazy. And, you know, the beef between Diddy and Tupac. We're going to get into it, people. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. You know, I'm gonna have some videos for you and some other things and stuff. And we're going to give you the full story about Tupac and Diddy. Now, I just only can give you a little bit of what I heard and from what I've seen. And Kim Porter used to work for Clyde Davis. Kim Porter used to date and had married at one point I'll Be Sure. And so I'll Be Sure almost got taken out of here. You know, as well as a lot of other people, other artists and things. I can't recall their names all right now and stuff, but you guys know the story. And so, you know, we definitely going to talk about it, peoples. But I'll Be Sure almost died, as what Jaguar Wright had said. And then she named a whole host of other celebrities that had died, but was under the label for Diddy. I don't know if they had started the venture together or whatever, but all of these people had died. Biggie Smalls and Tupac and all of these other people and stuff. Thing that happens to the Winans boy, he got poisoned and shit. But it's amazing how Kim Porter had died just like a lot of these other people. It was kind of like flu-like symptoms. Everybody's dying of flu-like symptoms. So we know it was a doctor that was administering medicine to these people. And see, the thing is, what really made me believe that Diddy had something to do with Kim Porter's death is simply because of the video that was shown. Diddy was at the establishment at the time to when the police came to Kim Porter's house, and Diddy let them in. He let them in. Diddy was there. Diddy was there at the time to when Kim Porter had died. And not only that, people is that Diddy had ordered the coffin about a week before she died. So he's pretty much letting the world know, hey, look, she is going home to be with the Lord. She's going up to yonder. Y'all remember Walter Hawkins saying, I'm going up to yonder to be with my Lord. I can take the pain. Walter Hawkins, peoples. Walter Hawkins and I'm going up to yonder. Let me see if I can find that for a moment, right quick. I'm going up to yonder to be with my Lord. We're just going to take just a brief moment of that, people's, and just listen to that in a tribute of Kim Porter. Is that all right, peoples? Now I don't know. I'm trying to see instead of just actually. Let me do it like this. I'm gonna do it just like this. Yeah. So because I don't want to take it directly from there, so I'm gonna do it just like I've always do it and things, and I'm gonna download it, and then I'm gonna play it like that. I can play the audio without actually playing it from the website and things. So then that way, but we're just only going to play just a snippet of it, people, in tribute of Kim Porter. Walter Hawkins in I'm going up to yonder. But before I do that, peoples, I see my peoples came in. Hello, Mello! How are you, my friend? It is a blessing to see you on today. Mello says salute to everyone in the chat. All right, peoples, this is a special tribute to Kim Porter. And I'm going up to yonder.
You wanna know where I'm going, where I'm going soon. Anybody asked you where I'm going, where I'm going soon? I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. I can take the pain.
She said, I can take the pain,
The heartaches they bring.
the heartaches that they bring.
The comforts in the weak. I'll soon be gone. As God gives me grace.
As God gives her grace,
I'll run this race.
she ran this race
Until I see my Savior.
until she sees her Savior.
Face to face. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder. I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. Oh, I'm going up yonder.
If anybody asks you where I'm going up to yonder to be with my Lord. And so, people, that was a special tribute to Kim Porter. And so, peoples, we're going to get into this on today because this is the moment that everybody has been waiting for. This is the moment that everybody has been waiting for. This is the memoirs of Kim Porter, peoples. This is Kim Porter, the untold story. You guys come on in. You guys come on in.
One of Kim Porter's final wishes was for this memoir diary to be made public out of protection for certain parties and their potential criminal activity. Some celebrities, performers, and events have been represented with X's due to their highly explosive nature. At some point in the future, this information will be revealed to the public. Regarding Kim's sudden death and the mysterious illness of Albie Schur and Jamie Foxx, evidence does exist that points to foul play and or poisoning. God bless Kim Porter and all of Sean Combs victims, both male and female. Okay, y'all, there's a table of contents. We'll start with Chapter 1 Introduction. Soon after high school, I started landing modeling jobs. I couldn't believe it. It was all happening so fast. I met my husband, father of my oldest child, and one of my oldest friends in life, I'll be sure. It was a whirlwind romance. I was only 19 when we married, and no, it didn't work out. Al is still one of my best friends to this day. Our son Quincy is such a talented and wonderful young man. At that time, I had no idea my relationship with Al was going to introduce me to the man that I would spend the better part of my adult life with, a man whom I love and cherish, but eventually fear and hate. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I will say, although I knew what was going on, I turned a blind eye many times. Here, I have to tell the truth. Unfortunately, because deep down, I knew everything that was happening, but I lied to myself a lot. He was so charming, a wolf in sheep's clothing, a devil, and I fell for it. This story must be told, despite the fact that it will hurt my children. I can't hide it any longer. Sean Combs must be stopped. Chapter 2 Humble Beginnings. I was born to loving parents, Jake Porter and Sarah L. Porter, in the Peach State of Georgia. All through Columbus High School, where I graduated in 1988, I knew I was going to be famous. In the 10th grade, one of my best friends, Tina, said to me, "You won't make it here in Georgia." I knew if I really wanted to be famous, I would have to leave my hometown, my home, Georgia. That conversation was so important as I look back now. It changed my life. I met Al while I was working in the industry. He was so dope and charming, and I had such a crush on him. We were married before I knew it, and Quincy was on the way. But I was young, and it just felt like it wasn't going to last. It was a little heated between us after we separated, but we got past that quickly. He is just a super dope guy and an amazing father. Though we separated, we are forever bonded through Quincy. Thank you, Al. I will always love you. When I met Sean, he was cool. I didn't think much of him at the time. He was just another guy at the label. Uptown was huge, and we were all living our best life. But Sean continued to lay on the charm, and before I knew it, we were dating. As a young single mom at one of the hottest companies in the world, life couldn't get any better than it did. My boyfriend was getting even bigger. He and Clive would hang out a lot, but I didn't think anything of it. I mean, that was his boss, and he was doing things bigger than most men dare to even dream. Then it happened. I mean, okay, I was a little bit of a freak. I really enjoyed myself with my partner, and toys are one thing, but I never imagined having a man I was dating ask me to use a toy on him. The first time he said he would just want to experiment, try something new. I was grossed out, but he kept begging. He said it would only be this one time, and he was just curious. I was only 20 at the time. I said, "What the hell?" I hated it. He bled from it, and there was shit on it. I left him alone after that. Girl, Lord. Okay, chapter 3 Second Chances. Sean kept reaching out, and I kept ignoring his calls. Eventually, in a few weeks, we ran into each other at an event. He came over and sat next to me. We were cordial. He flattered me by saying, "You look so amazing." I replied with a simple, "Thanks, Sean." I tried to get up to leave, but he pulled me by my arm. So as I turned to him, he looked deep into my eyes and said, "Look, what happened between us was weird, but I really care about you. Can we?" He paused. I tried to use this as my attempt to escape. I pulled my hand back and said, "Sorry, Sean, I have to go." "Please, I think I'm falling in love with you. Can we talk?" My breath was taken away. Did he say he loved me? It was so fast. I wasn't aware of this as his manipulation tactic. Not yet. God, I was so young and naive. He continued, "Let's just have dinner." And I fell for it. 2 days later, we went for a drink at a lounge in Lower Manhattan. The place was nice. Sean was really coming up and pulling out all the stops to impress me. He pulled out my chair for me to sit. Back then, he was always a gentleman. He smiled and he said, "Look," as he sat across from me, "I hated it and I never want to do it again. Give me another chance." Over coffee the next morning, I decided to give him another chance. For the next year and a half, things seemed pretty normal. It was fun. Things were going great, and we were living the dream that I thought I dreamt out throughout my youth. Sean and Clive were working on Bad Boy, and he had his first couple of artists. He picked up Craig Mack, then some rapper from the West Coast called Notorious B1 to help Chris develop. He was collaborating with the biggest names in hip hop to make it happen. Things could not be more amazing. Then he asked me to do it again. It was insane. Sean said, "Baby, I can't stop thinking about it." "What the hell are you talking about?" I responded. Sean continued, "I just can't stop thinking about that night. It was amazing. Can you screw me one more time, please?" I became infuriated. "Why don't you just go to Clive? He's the one screwing you, isn't he?" Oh my gosh. Then Sean hit me. This was the first time, but he slapped me hard. Before I could form words, he began to beg. I'm sorry." Holding my cheek where he hit me, I turned and ran off. That should have been it, but I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. He sent flowers and a bunch of expensive gifts. Then we bumped into each other at another industry event. He sat down next to me. This was deja vu. Sean started. "Imagine running into you here. Get the fuck away from me," I forced out. He became more serious as he said, "Look, baby, I'm sorry, but I just glared at him. There's nothing you can ever say to me. Nothing." After an awkward silence, he finished, "You know I love you. I love your son. He's my son. I don't know how to fix this, but I'll do anything. I'm sorry." Shit, he can be so sweet. Here we go with the love thing. This time, it's not falling in. He was great with Quincy, and to be honest, despite everything, I missed him. As he stood to walk away, I remember hearing myself say, "Call me later." What the fuck was wrong with me? Chapter 4 is forgiveness. Sean arrived with flowers in hand. He wanted to see Quincy. He was so good with him, and Quincy ran over to hug him. I felt my heart melting. He asked Quincy, "How you doing, Tiger?" Quincy looked so innocent as he responded, "I'm good. I miss you." Sean's response sounded genuine. "I miss you too. We'll hang out tomorrow, okay?" "Okay." Sean gave him a little love tap on the butt. "It's bedtime." Quincy replied, "Okay, good night," as he turned to head toward his room. Here was the man I fell in love with. But what was I thinking? Shit, not only does he want butt plugs, he slapped the shit out of me. So why am I still talking to him? They say love is blind, but is it stupid too? As Quincy left, Sean looked at me and smiled. "Baby, let's go have some fun. The babysitter is on the way. I just want to show you a good time." I was so mad at myself for melting as I said, "Okay." We sat on the couch laughing, genuinely having a good time when the doorbell rang. The babysitter had arrived, and so we left. As we exited the house, a big man climbed out of the limo and opened the door for us. He wore a sharp suit with a gun noticeably tucked under his arm. I thought to myself, could have made it invisible, or did he want me to see it? Despite my reservations, Gene was a sweetheart. He was very courteous and polite. As he tipped his head and said, "Good evening, ma'am," Jean drew a smile out of me as I responded, "Hello." Jean and I would see each other a lot after this day. Gene is the guy that you see speaking out against Diddy. He's been talking about that for years, so he is definitely an ally. Moving on to chapter 5, Sean Niels. The year passed, and thankfully, we didn't have many bad arguments. Although Sean was strangely getting into voodoo, he would put curses on people, and I wasn't sure how to respond to that craziness. My problem as a single mother was I wanted to be married. Girl, what a contrasting statement. He always had excuses and delays when it came to committing to marriage. His label was blowing up, Biggie dropped, and it was just about to be over. He also signed Mary J. Blige, and of course, when I found out that he slept with her, we fought. He claimed it was a mistake, and my stupid ass took him back. Again, Sean asked me for a threesome with her. At first, I was mad, but Mary was beautiful. It was our first threesome, and I loved it. Mary was sexy. I would not be doing this a lot, but it was so hot. I was young and exploring my sexuality was enticing. I'll just throw in the allegedly on this because, whoa. Over the years, we brought other women into our bedroom periodically and we were happy. That is until one day I came home into a situation that went from awkward to a nightmare. Quincy was with the babysitter and Sean was sitting with Albie Sure at the dinner table. I had a child with Al, and Sean was the father in Quincy's life. What? The awkwardness of all of us being together had dissolved a long time ago, but it was still weird that they were here in my home together alone. I sat down and we had drinks. It was fun and conversation was cool until it wasn't. What? Al was a little loose after a couple of drinks. I remember him saying, "It's still weird seeing you with my friend, but you're happy, so I'm happy for you guys." Sean responded, "Thanks, man. Me and you, we've shared so much." Al replied coolly, "Word." The conversation took an odd and awkward turn when Sean said, "Well, we all been together sexually, but not together." What? I was shocked for a moment as quietness lingered in the room. I asked, "What do you mean by all together?" Al shifted uncomfortably, but Sean didn't hesitate. "You know how we sometimes invite other people into our bed?" I couldn't believe it either. "Oh, hell no, Sean. This is my son's father. Al, say something." What Al said was mind boggling. "I don't know. It could be kind of hot. I miss you in that way." Nah. Although I couldn't believe Sean would do this, the truth was I still cared about Al, and this could be very hot. Whoa. I just didn't want it messing up my relationship. You should say relationships, right? Plural. And if things become awkward, how would it affect Quincy? I think that's a great thing to think about. Think about your child. Because, whoa. So I asked, "Are you both sure?" I imagined both of them inside of me. I knew this would be awkward sexually. There'd be some bumping of genitals. Whoa. But what happened next, I couldn't imagine in my wildest dreams. It says Al, and then there's like X, 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 X. I couldn't believe it. I stood there in shock. But when Sean X, X, and X and X, I ran out of the room. This was too much. I couldn't. Sean called out to me, "Oh, come on, Kimmy." They didn't chase after me. They X, X, and X. I couldn't get the image out of my mind. I couldn't even be with Sean for a while. But that wouldn't be the last time I saw Sean in a compromising position. Not by a long shot. One day I found the vault where he kept all of his encounters with men. And yes, he kept a record of it. But that's for later. Pause. I do know or have heard, I'll be sure says that this is has nothing to do with him. He has never been in that position. Okay, starting with chapter 6. Hawk was what it's called. Biggie took over East Coast rap, and Sean was the brilliant mind that orchestrated it. He hired people to teach Chris how to flow and write lyrics. He hired the best producers to do the beats, although he took credit for them, and the music was unstoppable. At this point, Sean was sleeping with all the power players and everyone that wanted to do music wanted to be a bad boy. Sean wheeled and dealed in a way that would have been unthinkable to many. He slept with guys that really control the music to stay on top. A lot of names average people have never heard of. These are the guys that make the decisions on who is winning and who is not. He hosted parties that were just fancy names for orgies, and everyone wanted in. Yikes. When I met Tupac, Sean and I had an open relationship, and yes, I slept with Pac. He was sexy. Sean didn't mind, well, not until he tried to get Pac to join us. Pac was not good with that. This is where their relationship became strained. Tupac wasn't going to accept Sean's advances. Pac was not gay, and he was pissed about his advances. We were all in Sean's house. I was drinking, they were smoking, and everyone was relaxing. Sean came in on what I was sure he would call a smooth approach. "My baby is bad, isn't she?" Buck threw me a sly smile. Hell yeah. I felt myself blush. Sean was now in full swing. "Think you hit it harder than me?" I couldn't believe he disrespected me in that way. I was not playing with my response. "Sean, what the fuck?" Pac came to my rescue, or my defense rather. "Damn, bro. You ain't got to do a sister that way." Tupac appeared upset behind Sean's words, but Sean went in for the kill regardless. "I think my dick bigger than yours. I bet I can make her come faster than you. What's up?" Pac was appalled. "What the fuck are you talking about, nigga? I ain't trying to run no fucking train." Sean continued, "What are you scared of? Let's see who fucks better. Let her be the judge." Yes, at this point, we're inviting others into our bed for a while, but I am not used to and will not stand for disrespect. I wasn't the only one upset. Hawk shouted, "Nigga, you talking about pulling your fucking dick out?" Sean was undaunted. "What, you scared?" Tupac simply left, which is the right thing to do. Because what the heck? Things were contentious since then. You think? The two could not be in the same room. Pac avoided me as much as he did Sean. When they did bump into each other, the tension was palpable. It felt like blows could be thrown at any moment. Months passed with only the tension between them. It was uncomfortable, but nothing like life or death. Then one day, while we were at the studio, it happened. I walked into Sean's office and he was having the conversation. Sean sat across from Jimmy. Henchman, don't leave that fucking studio alive. I don't think I was supposed to hear it. I continued as if I didn't. Hey, Sean. Good morning, Jimmy. They didn't seem to think I heard anything. I'm ordering breakfast. Smiling. Sean replied first. Let me get eggs, sunny side up, and grits, and orange juice. I could see he was hungover. Good. I don't want him knowing I know anything. If he just put a hit out on Pac, knowing something could be dangerous. Jimmy, apparently not hungry, said nothing for me. As he stood up to exit the room, he said to Sean, let's make that happen. Then nodded to me and said, Kim, always a pleasure.
Okay, people. So I want to know. I want to know. Did Al Be Sure have sex with Diddy and Kim Porter? Because I'm still up in arms about that and things. Did it happen or did it not happen? You know, and we know that Tupac wasn't down with that shit. Tupac just told him straight up, look, hey, I'm not about to have sex with her with you. And then, as you can see, peoples, and it may hurt the little twins and her sons and stuff, Justin Combs and all of the others and stuff. But your mom was a freak. Your mom even said that she was a freak. Your mom was just like Cassie. But see, the thing was, Kim never gave explicit details as to how they did it. They just invited people to the bedroom. But see, the difference between Kim and Cassie is Kim kept it clean, while Cassie poured on the steam. Because Cassie had said that, hey, they pissed in my mouth. Kim never gave intricate details like that. But Kim was a freak. Kim said it. And see, now I understand why the YouTubers say that this was a farce, that this never happened and things. And yeah, the family is going to deny it because, see, they don't want to admit that Kim was a freak, just like the father was a freak. So yeah, the girls is not, oh, no, that's not my dad. That wasn't my mom. No. Your mother and father were swingers. They were freaks. Your father is gay. So you can be in denial as much as you want to, peoples, but he is gay. And Kim Porter was gay. You heard what she said. She said that she had sex with the young lady who Diddy had signed. So your mommy is gay. So now, are you guys going to fall into the footsteps of your mommy and daddy? I mean, twins, hello? Twins, what are you doing? See, it's good that you're keeping your lifestyle under wraps and things and not saying much and not being vivacious, and being out there like your father and your mother. But are you little undercover freaks? Are you freakaleaks? They say that things come in packages. So you're your package. You're the twins. Are you just like or are you going to be just like your mama and your daddy? Are you two going to be little freaky dinks? Is things going to come out about you two? Well, only time will tell, peoples, because they say that the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And so they may be quiet now, but you just never know. Because if it's in the genes, well then, it'll come out at some point in time. It always does. But I'm so happy thus far that they are holding themselves up and not being in the spotlight and all the time speaking in a camera, and showing uh, uh, a nasty side of them. They're not sitting up there twerking. They're dignified. They're amplified. And I love that about them. Keep that stature and status with you, ladies, and present yourself presentable. Don't you be sitting up here twerking and doing all of that stuff, because see, the spotlights is already on you right now, because everybody is taking a look at you, and you graduated and stuff. Go to college. Don't think that you're going to depend upon daddy's money to get you through the life and things, because this is just temporary and things right now. Things is about to shake up. But I need you to continue to keep doing what you're doing. Live your life. Yeah, that's what you're doing and stuff. But then get into something. Get into modeling or something. It makes something really out of your life, and stay away from this freakishness. Stay away from the industry, because see, that's what got your mother and father perverted. Now, I know you don't like the people to talk about your mother and father, but see, your mother is speaking from the grave. It ain't my words, ma'am. I didn't say it, but she has written it. And I don't think that this man that supposedly had, gotten and all of this information had written this. I don't believe that at all. I believe it did come from Kim Porter's own mind and heart, because who else could know all of these intricate details? Thank you, Island. I see y'all look at here. Island is over here giving me a drink, boy. She said, I'm on it today, boy. I'm on it today. And so, hey, toast to the chat. Toast to the community. Toast to Edward Joseph. Let's Talk Live, man. Look at here. I'm on this thing. So, I may have to have a double, man. I may have to have a double. But like I said, peoples. It came from Kim Porter's own lips. It came from her mind. It came from her heart. And she is letting you in upon some intricate details that happened within their bedroom, within her life. And I mean, hey, I can't help it if you mad. I can't help it if you think it's nasty. I can't help it if you think is outrageous and sickening and things. But the bottom line is simply this, peoples. She's telling you. She didn't have to tell you, but she's telling you. Now see, there was no loyalty in the relationship, because all of them was effing upon other people. Do you understand what I'm saying? And whether they was married or whether they wasn't married and stuff, they was all effing up on other people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so y'all be if Island give you a wine glass, y'all be sure to tip her. Don't sit into my chat and be stingy, people. Y'all be sure to tip her. Give her a digital coin, something. Because this wine is expensive right now. But see, peoples, Kimberly was a freak. She was a freak. Diddy was a freak. And remember when Kimberly had said that she stuck it up his anal hole and it was shit all over it. And she vowed never to do it again, but she did. And see, y'all follow Gina to you lead, because Gina to you, she didn't give no coins. She gave dollar bills. Y'all see that? She gave dollar bills. So that's what I'm talking about. So y'all go in here and y'all share because you care. Is that all right, peoples? And so peoples, Kimberly was a freak. Y'all hold on for a moment. My alarm going off. And see, that's my alarm, people. So that's when I supposed to go down on my knees in prayer and pray for me and pray for you and pray for all of everybody and things and stuff. So, you know, I have it set for a certain time and things. And so I'm not going to forget. I'm not going to forget. I am going to go down in prayer and I'm going to pray for you. But right now, I have to talk about this, peoples. And I have to talk about what's going on because, see, these are the things that the people don't want to talk about. These are the things that the people don't want to talk about. So, you know, they all the time want to sugarcoat stuff, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Kim was a freak. Diddy was a freak, but Diddy was gay. Kim was gay. You know, and the girls, you know, I'm sure they don't like that. Yeah, nobody wants to call their mother a freak and a lesbian and their father gay. And you know, they out and screwing all of these people and things and stuff. But that's the lifestyle that they lived. And see, the thing is and see, this is what I want to tell the girls. Your mama had said this. Nobody else said that. Your mama did that. Your mama said that she was a freak. She said that she had an affair with the young lady that Diddy had ended up bringing on to his record label. And that was the first time that she had a threesome. And it was good. She said it was juicy. She said it was delicious. But she didn't give no intimate details. So you can just imagine what she did. I said you can just imagine what she did. But she didn't give no intimate details. She didn't say that she squatted over there over her and pissed on her face. You know, but if you're in a threesome, you're gonna be doing something, right? The girl is going to be doing something to the girl, and the guy is going to be doing something to both of them. But she said that she enjoyed it. Just like Cassie said that I enjoyed when they pissed on my face and they pissed in my mouth. That's what Cassie said. That's what Cassie told you. Cassie told you that she had made arrangements with Mandingo. And Mandingo dingoed her. Do you see what I'm saying? See, I know you guys are Kim Porter's supporters and things and stuff and whatnot, but I just got to call it for what it is, people. You know, I just can't sit here and just sugarcoat it and whatnot. You know, she said it herself. She said she was a freak. That's what she said. And so, you know, she's telling you, but she didn't go all into great graphic details and things, but she just told you she was a freak. Diddy was a freak. She knew he was gay. And see, she said, you need to go back to Clyde Davis because you know, and I know that Clyde Davis is popping you in your buns. And that's why you like all of what she had did to him. That's what she said. You got to listen to what she said, peoples, because see, I can't make this up. And I don't care how bad it may seem to you, but that's what she said. I told you, I'm only going to go by what she said. Now, this man cannot make this stuff up for Kim. He can't make it up for Kim. You know, Kim said it herself. And whether you believe it or not, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it, peoples. And so that's what it is. And if you really break it all down, peoples, when you really break it all down, peoples, the thing is simply this. She's given you a greater insight as to what had transpired in her life at that particular time growing up. She said that she was naive. She was naive. And she was smitten because Diddy had a way of charming the people. Isn't that what the young ladies had said, peoples? Isn't that what the young ladies had said in the testimony when they gave the testimony at the trial and stuff? You know, that he was charming and he was this and he was that and so on and so forth, peoples. I mean, you know. But see, Kim already accepted him being gay. She accepted him being gay. So whatever transpired between Kim and Diddy, it wasn't because he was gay, because she accepted it. She had threesomes, you know. I just want to know, was Al B. Sure in that room with them? Because that wasn't clear to me if he did it or not. Did Al B. Sure do with Kim and Diddy? Can anybody give some clarity to that? Did anybody take away anything out of that? Was there anything definitive that stated that Al B. Sure did the do with Diddy and Kimberly? I got to go play that back, people. I got to go play that back and see, you know, what was said and things, because I'm still unsure on that. Now, I've listened attentively, but, you know, that just caught me by surprise when I heard that. And I was like, and I was trying to get to the computer real quick because I was just laying down listening to this. And I'm like, well, damn, really? I'll be sure. Jenny Tia had said it sounded like Al wanted to, but wasn't confirmed in her story. Right. Okay. All right. I knew that I was on the right path, peoples, because see, I don't want to say Al B. Sure did it and he didn't. You know, it wasn't clear. But see, for the very simple fact that he wanted to. Now he wanted to. Now that was made clear. He wanted to. But it was Kim that says I couldn't do that with both of the men that I love. Wow. But just imagine that, peoples. I'll be sure wanted to do a threesome. So what do you think you was going to do, Al? You up in there naked with Diddy and Kim, and you see this man pounding the hell out of your ex. I mean, just pounding the shit out of her. And what would you be sitting up there doing, Al? Be sure. Was you sure that you wanted to do that, Al? Did you want it to be? See, that just lets you know about Al B. Sure, too. He has nasty tendencies as well. So he ain't as squeaky clean. You know, it's unfortunate what happened to him, but you know, you're a deviant devil too, Al. Be sure. Nasty mother. You're a nasty mother, Al. You wanted to get up in there and let Diddy pound Kimberly right in your face. Boy, peoples, man, look at here. That's sad. Never would I ever do a threesome, and never would I ever allow another man to be pounding the girl that I love. Never, peoples.
Just flash out on my pappy for that whole shit that he did. How you fucking on my mama, but couldn't take care of your kids? What's the point of calling you daddy when you never was a father? And what's the point of reaching out when a nigga ain't ever even bothered? But what's the point of me talking? I picked the same kind of BD. What's the point of him being 32, fucking me at 17? What's the point of being sad? They just gon' label you as fast, cause you know dope boys not pedophiles long as they get in the bag. So what's the point of being mad? You better off not giving a fuck. They be screaming they hate P. Diddy, but still love they uncles. What's the point of keeping secret if he a threat to all the nieces? And why y'all hurting all the angels so you can protect all the demons?
I'll be, and he wasn't for sure. People, let's get back into this. I said, let's get back into this, peoples.
With a wink to me and a nod to Sean, he turned and walked out. Jimmy was a part of our intimate circle. I went on as nothing was happening. I'll make the call now. I smiled as I left, hoping I wasn't white as a sheet. I wasn't in the studio the night Pac survived being shot, thank God. From what I understand, Sean and Chris saw Pac at the studio after he'd been shot and did nothing. The way God works, after being shot, Pac made it to the elevator and tried to escape, but it stopped at the floor Sean and Chris were on. When the doors opened, they saw him lying on the elevator floor, riddled with bullets. The fact that they didn't call an ambulance, although they saw Pac lying there, swimming in the pool of his own blood, would be all the evidence Pac ever needed. He, of course, assumed, placed the hit, and Tupac is a soldier. This is not something that will be unanswered. Tupac didn't do well. He lost a testicle, but he survived. It was orchestrated, and Sean Puffy Combs was the orchestrator. Ooh, I've got some opinions on that, but I'm going to keep going. We're on chapter 7 called Threats. At this point, I knew I had to get away from him, but I was scared. Is he going to take my life if I try to escape? One February evening, I thought I had found my opportunity at dinner after an event. We were in a ritzy restaurant in a private booth. It was an exclusive setup. We were alone, but we were in public. Perfect. Shauna was on the phone talking to an unknown listener as he sat down. His words on that call will be etched into my mind forever. We're gonna release Who Shot Ya now. He waited for a response, then went on to say, of course they gonna think B.I.G. was talking about pot. That's the whole fucking point. Nobody would give a fuck about this diss track against LL fucking Cool J. Do you know how much money we'll make with this kind of rap beef? Niggas battling after someone really got shot. This may not be the best time for conversation. Sean was finishing up. We drop that shit tomorrow. He listened to the phone and then responded, there's gonna be blood in the streets. Niggas missed, Pac's alive. Let's capitalize on that shit. When he responds, it's gonna mean more money. He turned around and looked at me, spoke back into the phone. I'll call you back. Then hung up and spoke to me. What's wrong? I tried my best to give a fake smile at what I heard. After all, me and Pac were intimate. I responded, nothing. Sean wasn't fooled. Are you sure? His demeanor was threatening, but I responded as cool as I could muster to his intimidating stare. Yeah, of course. He took my hand, saying, that's wonderful. He began to squeeze my hand until it hurt as he continued. Because seeing you walk in the office while I was talking about killing that motherfucker and you not saying shit to me had me a little concerned. His grip was starting to hurt badly. You're hurting me. As he continued, he squeezed tighter. Your pretending you don't hear anything was a sign of your loyalty to me, not something I should be concerned with, right? I had no choice but to give him the answer he wanted. I knew I was trapped. So I responded, of course I'm loyal to you. He then let me go as he responded, good. And remember, I'm a big dick. I snatched my hand back in pain. He smiled and said, "Let's start off with a good wine." He snapped his fingers and his favorite wine was poured for him. They knew what Sean wanted, and what he wanted, he got. I'm trapped. I have to be strategic. It's going to be hard to leave the glamour, the glitz, the lifestyle. I mean, this man just snapped his fingers in one of the most exclusive restaurants in New York City, and they poured his drink of choice. The bottle of wine is $800 and this is 1994. This list to get in this place is 6 months long. And if you're somebody like Mayor Giuliani has a table here tonight also. If I got up and walked out, I would be safe, but what about tomorrow? He sipped his wine and smiled. "You're not drinking?" He pointed to my glass, and of course, a waiter filled it. They all knew what I liked as well. Sean has a bad temper. He yells sometimes. And okay, he's roughed me up once or twice, but he never punched me. He never bruised me. And he never hit Quincy. I would not have stood for that. He never laid a hand on my son. At the time, I never thought of him touching Quincy in any way. Then the significance of what he said hit me. Is he mad at Tupac over me? I'm the big dick? Oh my God. The last time he put his hands on me, it was because I enjoyed Jamie Foxx too much. Shit, he enjoyed Jamie too. Who? He gets so insanely jealous. It's not fair. He wants to bring other men into the bedroom, but gets jealous when he does. Damn, you're quiet tonight, he said, snapping at me back into the present. I asked the question that was burning in my mind since I walked into the office. What does Chris think of this? He looked at me coolly and said, his fat ass just better keep doing music. Whoa. A third guest was escorted over by security. Sean motioned for him to sit. A waiter walked over to Sean Carter. A waiter walked over to Sean Carter and asked, "Would you like something?" Oh my gosh. Carter responded, "No, thank you." Then said hello to me with a smile. Smiling, I replied, "Hey, Carter," and took a sip of my drink. The Seans may share a bed together from time to time, but thankfully, I was never asked to join. It's nervous laughter. Like, what am I reading right now? Carter went on to speak to Sean. I thought we were meeting in private. Sean replied with a nonchalant shrug. I had to discuss something with her. It's fine. Go ahead. He wielded this kind of power. Carter shifted uncomfortably in his chair before continuing. It's true. Chris and Pac were about to start their own label. Sean slammed his fist against the table, shouting, "Doesn't anyone have any fucking loyalty?" Carter, well, that's not what's happening now, right? Sean peered at Carter with distrust. What the fuck are you eager to share this with me? Chris is your man. Fuck, he brought you on and you're stabbing him in the back? Carter responded with indignity. First, I'm tired of being that nigga's son. I need to come out from under his damn shadow. Sean smiled slightly. Whoa. Okay, I respect that. Carter kept going. On top of that, this nigga is making that move, and it should be with me. Sean looked at Carter blankly. Pac put Chris on. You know this. What's this really all about, Carter? Don't fucking try to play me. The Jay-Z of today wasn't born yet. This young Sean Carter was in over his head. Cornered, he had to spell it out. I want his spot. Ambition. Now this is a man I can work with. Sean made a grandiose gesture towards Carter. Waiter, get this motherfucker whatever he wants. Carter smiled. Thank you. Sean responded, honesty and ambition. We're going to make a lot of bread together. Carter ordered a drink. As he stated again, guess he won't be leaving with that nigga to do their own label now. Sean responded with a normal air of arrogance. Why don't you just let me worry about that? I look at this as my cue to escape. I told Sean I'm going to go ahead and get back to Quincy. Sean was wrapped up in his conversation with Carter and barely noticed as he excused me. Have the limo drop you off. We didn't eat. He didn't care. I smiled and kissed him on the cheek and left. Oh my gosh. I feel a tightness in my chest. This is, whoa. All right, chapter 8, Kadada. Actress, model, and fashion designer Kadada Jones was Tupac Shakur's fiance and the daughter of a record producer, Quincy Jones, and actress Peggy Lipton. Being around other celebrities was just a part of life. Meeting Kadada was just one of those events, and as time went on, we became close. We hung out together, went shopping, and so on. It was just about the same time that I met Kimora. Those were the days, or so I thought. We always had girl talk, and the fact that she was dating someone I had previously been with wasn't a source of contention. We didn't get jealous of each other with it was just girl talk stuff. No, I did not become intimate with Kadada. Kimura was too jealous for that. Yes, Kadada knew about Kimura, Sean, and I all being together sexually. Of course she did. We shared that kind of thing. We were open and honest with each other about almost everything. A true friendship, except I couldn't be open and honest about everything. Not anymore. Sean made sure of that. Kadada and Pac were the greatest couple. He was always so cool and yes, sexy. She was so beautiful and fun. Before all the tension and beef, we used to all hang out together and it was always dope vibes. But Pac's shooting and the suspicions surrounding Sean and Jimmy, the vibes between Kadada and I weren't always perfect. Then came that night. Award shows weren't anything new for us at this point. We were all dolled up and the men groomed. We didn't choose what we wore. A stylist prepared our color palettes, a makeup artist did our makeup, and hairstylist did our hair. That's just the way of things. We shared the best stylist in the business. Sometimes we would all go to the studio for an event to get our measurements taken, but this time Kadada seemed different. I felt like something was wrong, but when I probed, she wouldn't say anything. Then the day of the event was here. We would all see each other inside. Even though Sean was my man, as far as props, I had nothing on Kadada. Being Quincy Jones's daughter had perks, and superstardom was among them. Pac wasn't there. She saw us, she came over to our table. She sat around kicking it in a very dope vibe. Sean knew he was going to clean up in this award show. He had all but taken over the East Coast musically. With all the hits, there really being no way he wouldn't. Bad Boy is a Hall of Fame stuff now, and Sean P. Diddy Combs knew it. Sean smiled at Kadada as she sat at our table, but something about the smile didn't seem authentic. Soon I would know why. He's sick when he has a grudge against someone. As she sat, Sean said, Bad Boy is gonna clean the fuck up. From his table with Faith, Chris replied, Hell yeah. And that new shit we busting out gonna have these niggas sick. Kadada signaled for the waiter to pour her glass of ginger ale that sat over at her table. As the waiter refreshed her drink, she said, Hawk's music is gonna get some love too. Sean grimaced. Oh, come on, Sean. I know y'all got your differences, but you have to admit, the man makes great music. Sean looked at me, the corner of his eye, then took another sip of his favorite cognac and replied, Bad Boy got the hottest music on the fucking planet, but I'm tripping. Everybody got to get their shine, right? Kadada sighed. Sean, Tupac thinks you're involved with him getting shot. You two were so close. You need to make this right. Sean responded indignantly. Why the fuck would that nigga think I had anything to do with it? Kadada retorted. Sean, can you blame him? Sean was obviously not happy with the question by his reply. Hell yeah, I blame him. We had a good thing going. All of us. That nigga turned on me and he has a fucking balls to blame me for his shooting? The indignity he mangled to spew out while lying through his teeth was something I did not expect. I was thrown back for a moment before interjecting. Da, do we have to have this tonight? It's Sean's big night. Kamora heard the ruckus and made her way over to our table as well. She sat down and said, Hey, everybody, with that big dimpled smile. I smiled and replied, Hey. Kadada also seemed happy to see her as well. She said, Hey, what's up, Kimmy? Kamora, never the type to hold her tongue, went straight at it. The whole place is buzzing with the fact that you're sitting over here accusing Sean of having pock shot. Y'all kind of loud. She laughed. Kadada seemed embarrassed as she looked around to see everybody staring and whispering. But she wasn't about to back off. In fact, she doubled down. Anybody here not talking about it ain't real anyway. We all know Sean was behind it. Kimura forced a smile. Honey, we don't have to do this here. Kadada made clear that she was not going to be silenced as she continued. Oh, let's not hurt the feelings of Sean Puffy Combs. He only had one of the most prolific rappers in the game shot. Sean clenched his hands into a fist. If this was anyone else, this would have turned ugly. But this was Quincy Jones's daughter. Sean was a monster in the streets, well feared by men that he knew, but he did not want any of the smoke Quincy Jones could bring. Kadada could continue with impunity. Sean could not touch her. Christopher and Mary, both wanting to defend the super producer that made them famous, both started to stand and make their way over to the table. But Sean signaled them off with a firm motion of his hand. They remained in their seats, watching helplessly. Kadada seemed to be on a full rampage. You're not safe in the street, Sean. You think you're untouchable. Kimura seemed almost red in the face when she grabbed Kadada by the hand, saying, I gotta go to the restroom. Kadada, not willing to stop, snatched her hand away, yelling, Let go of me. Kimura needed her to get a grip and said sternly, as a parent speaking to a child, mid tantrum, Da. Kadada turned to her and yelled, What? Kimura nodded, and toward the crowded room, Kadada looked around. Here she deflated slightly. Kimura, now in control, spoke firm but softly. Let's go powder our nose. Kadada nodded with a grimace and gave a sharp look back at Sean as she walked away. Lots of action there. As the tension slowly melted away, I asked Sean, You okay? Sean didn't reply at first. He looked around, saw that no one was really paying attention now, that the ruckus had died down, and stood to get the picture of ginger ale from Kadada's table. He poured himself a drink from it, looked around again, saw no one paying attention, and put the pitcher under the table. What was he doing? Then I heard a distinct sound of liquid being poured into the liquid. Oh my God. Liquid poured into the liquid is funny. Peeing in the pitcher? He smiled at me as he brought the pitcher back from under the table and finally replied to me, I'm good. He then stood and returned the picture to the table. I was in awe. I knew he had a bad temper, but this was disgusting. I'll never eat and drink something after we have an argument again. Kadada and Kimura made their way back to Kadada's table to sit. As Sean watched on quietly, Sean made small talk. Which songs do you think that they'll give me awards for? Super narcissist. As Kadada poured her drink, Sean's bodyguards made their way over to the table. I think he stopped her from drinking as everyone just sat and watched. Jane risked incurring Sean's wrath. If I'm right, revealed, I replied, Babe, your catalog's about to be crazy. It could be a lot of songs. Sean glared at Kadada's table the entire night. Chapter 9 Going Back to Cali. We had a wild night. It was after one of Sean's infamous parties. Everyone was there, and we not only had threesomes, but we also swapped partners. Our sex life was crazy, but I got to do things with Sean I would never have been able to do with a straight man. Sean cared about me, but it was becoming more and more obvious that he preferred men. I was beginning to think that I was there to cover his wild desires, then because he really wanted to be with me. He was like Caesar, every woman's man and every man's woman. But truthfully, at that stage, I was becoming okay with it. I gotta look up this thing with Caesar. I woke up and I left the bedroom where I was with Jada Pinkett, allegedly, and Sean happened to be coming out of the bedroom with and Will Smith. Yes, X attended the parties from time to time. I could see him and Will kind of snuggled up on the bed together. I was grateful I wasn't asked to join in that room. I really didn't like X. Sean smiled when he saw me. Good morning. Here at the orgies, he wasn't very affectionate. He didn't have to pretend, but he couldn't walk straight. Girl, I knew how his ass felt, literally. We had had sessions playing with each other's anal cavities. I wanted to be home before Quincy woke up. So I told him I'm getting ready to go. He responded, Let's have a cup of coffee first. This meant he wanted to talk. I didn't know what this was about, but in situations like this, I really didn't have a choice. He was becoming more violent when he didn't get what he wanted, and I didn't really want to fight. So I sat down. But before we started talking, X came out of the room. Sean was wearing boxers. X was in his birthday suit, addressed us. Morning. When he turned around in order to close the door, there was a dried blank stain on his back. X walked over, pulled up a chair out to sit down next to us, and lit up a blunt. Sean stretched, smiled, and said, This East Coast West Coast beef is more lucrative than I thought, but it's getting dangerous. So, someone from the West Coast. X responded, surprised. Business first thing in the morning? Damn, cuz, you on it. Cuz, Los Angeles. Oh, I have a picture in my head, but I'm not going to say it. X responded, surprised. Business first thing in the morning? Damn, cuz, you on it. But you know you don't got nothing to worry about. You got a pass, daddy. X smiled coyly. Sean apparently had something to talk about with X as well because he said, I can't protect everybody, especially if someone is no longer going to be on my label. It was apparent that X was taken aback by this turn of events by his reply. Sean, are you saying what I think you're saying? Who talks like that? Sean continued, It's taxing on my resources to protect people. Someone that isn't 100% on my team can't get 100% of my protection. What the hell is going on here? What does Sean want from me? This morning is turning out to be way more than I expected, and I have to go. Quincy. Quincy will be looking for me. Meanwhile, X wanted clarity. So, to be clear, if something happened, X made quotation marks with his fingers to one of your artists that was leaving your label anyway, it would be considered he makes another set of quotation marks out of your control. Is that what you're saying? Wait a minute. Can they be talking about Biggie? Is Sean saying he won't protect Biggie? At this point, I was too young, too naive, too hungover to understand that this was not a lack of protection. This was a hit. Where did this come from this morning? But an older, wiser me understands now what I didn't comprehend all those years ago. Sean was just getting to the real reason that X was there. The world was about to lose Biggie. X laughed. You a cold motherfucker, Sean said. Why the fuck should I protect someone that isn't gonna stick around? I made him. That nigga should be worshiping the ground I fucking walk on. I was thinking Sean's ego is rearing its ugly head, and I wanted to get out of there, but my instincts told me I need to tread carefully. So my next move had to be calculated. I don't really want any part of this, not even implicitly, but I was dragged right into the middle of it. If what was happening here ever comes out, will I be held as an accomplice? But even as those thoughts crossed my mind, I couldn't just pretend this was okay. So I said, Sean, he hasn't left yet. They're just rumors. Are you going to let him die because of some rumors? Sean glared at me, the anger in his voice obviously stemming from hurt as he said, I know when I'm being betrayed. I'm not killing anyone, but I'm not protecting somebody that doesn't have my back 150%. Fuck that. This was a railing out of control. My mind began to race. Is there a way to get through to him? Maybe I could use the finance route. Sean, he's bringing in so much money. You put so much money into cultivating him. Are you going to throw away all that money? That's when he revealed how thought out this meeting really was. If he leaves, he takes all the money I invested into creating him Sean's size. But if he can't protect himself and something terrible does happen, then the money I would make off of his death would blow away all the money we've made so far. I was perplexed. Sean, he continued, he's worth more to me dead than alive. Sean Combs is a calculated monster. X chimes in. Okay, I get that, fam. A lot of people out there want Biggie dead too. Without your protection, he doesn't stand a chance in Cali. Biggie's going to die. This is crazy. I dare not say anything else about it. Sean smiles and stands to walk over to the safe behind the picture. There he pulls out a bag marked with X's name. He turns to X and says, That's why you're worth your weight in gold. You understand me? Here's a little something for you to take care of my people. X smiles. Sean, I love you, baby. You know I got your back. Your problems are my problems. I'll make sure to have my people take care of your people. I need to get out of here. This is crazy. I attempted to leave again. Sean, I want to get to Quincy before he wakes up. Sean looked at me, responding, It's getting late. Give him a kiss from me. I'm going to get out of here. I think, thank God, X always with something to say. I'd love to meet up with the little tyke sometime. Not a chance in hell. Something about this guy creeps me out. I forced a smile. That would be great. All right, chapter 10 The Lies You Tell. At this point, the relationship between Sean and I had been on and off again for a while, and we were off at this point. He had put his hands on me again, this time for something that didn't happen. It was all in his head. When the phone rang, I picked it up. Anyway, hi, Sean. He seemed trepidatious as he said, We have been broken up for a while this time. Yeah, he continued. I don't want anyone to know about my. He paused to search for the right word. Proclivities, I replied. So you don't want people to know about you being gay? Sean exploded. See, that's why they fucking lose control on you. So I just plainly stated, Goodbye, Sean. Wait, he screamed. What, Sean? I'm sorry, okay? You're always fucking sorry. He took a deep breath. I have to do something to cover myself, I sighed. Do whatever you fucking want, Sean. When you see this in the news, it's not real. This made me calm down a bit. What could he be talking about? He continued, I'm only doing it for the press. Doing what, Sean? After a long pause, he continued, She knows what this is. She's pretending to cover me. Sean, what the hell are you talking about? Another pause. Publicly, I'm going to be dating someone else. a video girl. I laughed. Why would you do that? I have to cover myself. I was getting mad. I was actually angrier at myself more than him. Why was I getting jealous? I was sitting there actually comparing myself to a video vixen in my head. They were thick, but look at my body. Did he prefer them light skinned, big butt girls in the videos? Calm myself. No, I know he likes men any damn way. As I regained control, I asked, why the hell are you talking to me? He sighed, I want you to find out from me first. Like I give a shit. He came at me and said his favorite line, you know I'll always love you. I was getting old. I could only think to myself, here we go. Love is a big, strong word. I'm tired of him throwing it around and using it when it fits his need. He's using it while sitting here telling me about dating someone else. I replied, you don't hit people you love, Sean. Love doesn't hurt. He sucked his teeth and responded, come on, are you serious? That shit's for children. We ain't in fucking high school. Sometimes things happen. That doesn't mean that I don't love you. I wouldn't hit you if I didn't. And wait, that sounded wrong. You know exactly what I meant. He took a breath. There was an awkward silence. The fact that I was still on the phone and waiting for him to speak meant he had the power. He was more cautious as he continued. He didn't want to lose that power. Kim, no one that I don't care about can bring that kind of emotion out of me. I wanted to say, is that how you talk to dudes after using butt plugs? But there was a fine line I dare not to cross. Instead, I said, you say that while you're dating some other bitch? That's just for public. I was done. It could just be heard in my voice as I said, whatever, Sean. Do what you need to do. Leave me alone. I'm never going to give up on this, he cried. I responded to the emotional control attempt with the little resolve I could muster. I didn't even believe words that came tumbling out of my mouth. Sean, there is no us anymore. Goodbye. Tell Quincy I miss him. He threw out. His emotional manipulation was really driving me crazy. This time I said with much more conviction, goodbye, Sean. I hung up. Manipulative bastard. Chapter 11, Mo Problems. For a while, I was actually happy to see Sean gone. I was getting older and the sex parties were out of control. It was getting time for me to slow down. Quincy was getting older. I knew that if I kept going, the rumors circulating were going to eventually find a way to get back to him. What will he think of me? Chris is about to take a trip to California. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen out there, but I felt like Tiana Wallace was about to be an orphan. I knew I didn't want any ties to that. As I was sitting there contemplating all of this in my robe, sipping my wine on this Friday evening, my doorbell rings. I was not expecting company. As I opened the door and found Sean, my heart skipped a beat. I was shocked but recovered quickly. I forced a smile. I told him with a slightly slurred speech, hey, come on in. Shit. I was way more intoxicated than I thought. Sean entered looking around suspiciously. Then he turned to me and smiled, saying, you haven't been returning my calls. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. I'm fine. He obviously was not here out of concern. He was checking to see who was here. Sean was controlling like that. Yes, even though we were not together and he was dating someone else. He started to make his way to the living room. I attempted to put a quick end to the visit, but it came out a little more directly than I intended. So since you've seen I'm fine, you can let me go to bed now. Part of me wanted him to stay. As he entered the living room, I was forced to follow. Sean was very direct with his next inquiry. Is someone waiting for you? No, but Sean, we're not together. You're dating someone else. I can fuck whoever I choose. With this, Sean became irate. He fiercely slammed me onto the ground. Then he pulled out a 22 and sat it on the end table. He turned to me calmly. I was scared. My voice quivered as I pled to him, Sean, please stop. Quincy is here. How did we get here? How did we get to the point that he was in my living room threatening me with a gun? He knelt on one knee and got right in my face to say, you're mine. You don't have a choice in that now. I can't live without you. He stood up, composing himself. I was terrified as I whimpered, Sean, that's not love. Sean picked up the gun and cocked it. He looked at me almost thoughtfully and asked, have you ever heard if I can't have you, no one can? Sean, please don't. Please. Quincy will hear. Sean smiled and put the gun away, saying, oh, this is just for dramatic effect. I would never shoot you. If I was going to kill you, no one will trace it to me. You know how many people I've had to take care of over the years? it would be quiet. Something in your food or drink. Something that will never get back to me. I wouldn't shoot you. Do you understand? I could only nod, tears flowing down my cheeks. He looked at me thoughtfully. As he reached down to help me, I could do nothing but agree. He's a terrifying monster. Now he wanted to smooth it over, and I had to go along with it. What else could I do? Listen, baby, I don't want to ever hurt you. You know I really love you, or I would have moved on. Thinking about living my life without you is just too hard. If someone ever tried to hurt you, I would kill them. My back hurt from where I hit it on the table where he shoved me. All I could do as he helped me up was nod that I understood through the streaming tears which he wiped. He looked towards Quincy's room. Let me say goodnight. No, Sean, please. He, thinking quickly, he has to get up in the morning. Sean looked at me with an unreadable look. He was studying me. Okay, I'm gonna go. Nervously, I walked up to the front door. This is over. Thank God. He kissed me. I didn't want him touching me, but I couldn't refuse. Kiss Quincy for me. I tried to keep my composure as I replied, Sure, Sean. He opened the door to leave. The bodyguard that was waiting outside escorted him to the car. This was far worse than I realized. Why would he need a bodyguard at my front door? How was he anticipating this to go? After I shut the door, I had another drink. For tonight, the nightmare was over. I sipped on my wine and cried. The next few days, he sent dozens of flowers. He brought Quincy expensive toys. He didn't want me. He wanted me to keep his secret. I'm trapped. He has the authorities under his thumb. I can't go to them. This is like a gangster movie. How high up does his power go? How far is his reach? The FBI? The CIA? Who is not corrupted or won't get silenced by their upper chain of command? Can anyone help me and my child? He found his way back into my bed. I had no choice. Chapter 12, A Mama's Love. The calamity that ensued behind the death of Biggie shook the East Coast. It rocked me as well. Sean could have stopped it. He was complicit in it. He was a contributor. He knew it was going to happen and didn't stop it. This was his friend. No, they were not nearly as close as Sean would have the public believe, but still, as far as Sean was concerned, we were great. To the public, we were just having the off and on relationship of normal people. I probably just seemed a little like a money hungry hoe. But the truth is, I just got used to not having a choice. Today, I recognize it for what it was Stockholm Syndrome. I was at his beck and call, and he had become comfortable with it. Quincy had everything he could have ever wanted, and with the exception, of course, of a normal parental figure. That is why this chapter is so powerful for me. A mother's love is so real. One night, when I was out with my boyfriend, yes, we were on again, and we were joined for dinner by none other Miss Wallace. Sean looked over at me as security allowed Miss Wallace to approach the table and sit. Miss Wallace spoke with a smile. Hello, Sean. Hi, Kim. I smiled as best as I could. For all intents and purposes, she's sitting right with her son's killer. I hope my voice didn't betray my feelings as I said, Hi, Miss Wallace. Sean smiled too as he said, Hello, Miss Wallace. What can I do you for? This was the creepiest situation of my entire life. She looked at Sean with pleading eyes. I know this isn't your problem, but things have gotten out of hand. I was hoping that you could send some more of that money Chris made with you this way. Sean shook his head. That's something I can't just do. There are attorneys and accountants. Can I maybe help you out with a little something to get you past the hump? Sean reached into his pocket to dig for his wallet. I haven't seen how much Chris left. It's going on 2 years. Just how long is this going to take? Sean sighed as he replied, These things are difficult, Mrs. Wallace. I don't know. The attorneys don't make this easy. Mrs. Wallace pushed further. I don't understand what's so difficult. He worked for you. He made his money. Where is it? Sean shook his head as if saddened by what he was saying and continued. It's not like I can just give you his money. You're entitled to certain amount, and they are just trying to figure out what that amount is. I don't mean to sound cruel, but it wouldn't be fair to me to just give you tons of money. You got rich off my son, and now you're keeping all of his money? Sean kept his cool as he replied, I'm afraid business isn't that cut and dry. Ms. Wallace, I paid for publicity. I mean, in all actuality, If I'm going to be straightforward, Mrs. Wallace, Chris probably owed me money. I won't know until it's all worked out. The anger in Ms. Wallace's voice barely overshadowed the pain, or perhaps it magnified it as she uttered the only words she could muster: "You bastard." Sean didn't flinch. He just said, "Look at the contract. I'm honestly trying to get him as much as possible out of it, but I have investors. I can't just take money that doesn't belong to him and start giving it away." Ms. Wallace exploded in response. "You know good and well Chris didn't owe you a damn thing." Straight in the eye, unwaveringly, and said he would have started making a profit after a few years. His money, until his album sales paid for studio time, music videos, publishing, and marketing, would have come from doing shows. I'm sorry. He isn't here to make that money. I miss him. Her response was deadpan. "Did you kill my son?" Momentarily, Sean was stunned into silence. She asked again, her voice quivering. "Did you?" He started. "Ms. Wallace?" She would not be redirected. "Answer the question." I was not used to seeing Sean on the defensive. "No, of course not." She looked at him with spite, the anger in her voice enough to send shivers up my spine. As she replied with a menace only a mother can, "I don't believe you, Sean." Sean looked at her with sadness that I knew in my soul to be fake. Although looking at him without context, anyone would believe him, as he replied, "I'm sorry to hear that." Today, I know he was able to muster that false sincerity because he's a sociopath. Back then, I thought it was compassion. With no more words, Ms. Wallace stood up and left. Sean watched her exit with disbelief. Not knowing what to do, I placed my order. Dinner that night was long and silent. I feared for Mrs. Wallace's life. Sean is the most dangerous when he feels threatened. No, she could not physically threaten him, but this threat was very real. If she goes public with her accusations, Sean's image would be damaged. I have felt for myself the extents he will go through in order to protect that image. Chapter 13. Have some faith. The fact of the matter is, Sean was a complete control freak. He was absolutely the worst. But of all the things he did for control, this might have been one of the most despicable ones. We were in the bad boy office one evening, sitting in the lounge area, enjoying a meal. Sean was smoking one of those big cigars he liked when Faith entered and sat down with us. She seemed relaxed and said, "Hey guys." I smiled and never had any bad vibe from the marvelous Faith Evans. We never talked about the wild time the three of us shared at one of Sean's parties. I gave her a hug. "Hey girl, what's up?" Sean smiled and asked, "Hey, what brings you out?" She addressed Sean, saying, "Look, when you asked me to hook up with Chris, I understood you needed to control him. I felt honored that you would choose me to monitor one of your most valuable assets. Chris is sweet." Sean laughed and said, "Honestly, I knew you would be good. Make the big man feel loved." I don't feel good about all this, Sean. Sean got that look in his eye he gets before he's about to blow his top. Faith saw it too. She treaded carefully. "Sean, you know I'm as loyal as they come." Sean leaned forward, unintentionally threatening, and said in a low tone, "Yeah, but Sean, Chris and I had a child together." Sean leaned back. He let out a deep breath. "I'm going to take care of you. You're not like Chris. You're loyal." Faith had a tear in her eye as she responded, "He didn't have to die." This is getting very touchy. Did she know? Did she suspect? Was this her way trying to find out if Sean intentionally killed Biggie? I wanted to ask, but of course there was no way of doing that. This is so crazy. Sean sighed and replied, "He didn't. Don't get me wrong. I miss him, but he was leaving me anyway. No one cares about my pain." Classic narcissistic Sean. It's all about him. I was sickened for a moment, but his next sentence made me feel for him anyway. I wanted to share all of this with him. He was my man. Faith couldn't hide the anger that flared in her eyes, but she knew who she was talking to. She was careful as she spoke. "Sean, you have your friends you share things with." Sean sat forward again, this time with malicious intention, as he queried, "What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Chris had no one, only you." Sean lost it. "That fat fuck and that other piece of shit I had you fuck?" I interjected while in shock. "You had her fuck, Pac?" Sean glared at me as he answered, yes, fucking Pac. Those motherfuckers are going to try to start their own label and compete with me? 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 After all I did for that fat fuck? Nah, I wasn't using resources to protect that motherfucker. No fucking way. As Faith started to cry, Sean looked at her and softened slightly. He spoke a little calmer. Look, I didn't hate him. I was hurt, but I didn't hate him. I'll make sure that you and CJ are taken care of. Without words, Faith got up to leave. As she turned, Sean spoke softly. Faith? She ignored him. He called her again. Faith? She exited quickly. Sean just looked at me and said, damn, I really don't know what to say. Sean just told Faith that he wouldn't protect her husband because he was going to leave. Bad boy? From a business perspective, I didn't disagree with Sean there. If you're leaving and creating competition for him, why would he spend resources on you? So I hugged Sean, but I also knew he didn't have to send Chris to California. I wondered if he realized that he sentenced him to death. He hugged me back with tears in his eyes as he asked, how the fuck am I the bad guy? I fucking do nothing but bust my ass to make everyone live comfortably. And I'm supposed to just let niggas walk all over me? As I held him in a comforting embrace, I replied, no, baby. He took me right there on the couch. Like I said, Stockholm Syndrome. Chapter 14, Outshine. This particular evening, I was at Sean's house and Quincy was staying with a friend. It was some alone time for Sean and I until the doorbell rang and Sean got up to answer it. I heard a woman yelling, quickly realized that it was Jennifer Lopez, or better known to the world as J-Lo. Sean, what the fuck? She blasted. Sean responded calmly. Relax, baby. Why the hell did you have to start shooting? Isn't that what we have bodyguards for? Normally, when these kinds of situations arise, I remain quiet and just listen. I play my position, you could say, but I wasn't paying attention to the news for the last day or so. And even though it would be the only thing anyone would talk about for months, no one had spoken to me about it yet. So I entered the foyer asking, what's going on? Jennifer exploded at me. What's going on? What's going on? This nigga shot up the damn club. My jaw dropped, looking back and forth between the two. Sean spoke soothingly. Jen, you gotta calm down. Jennifer was having none of it. She continued, calm down. Calm down? You shot a bunch of innocent people, Sean. Sean placed his hand on her forearm. It's a bonding technique. He was shrewd in handling her. He does this to me too. Even if you know what's happening, it works. It's an intimate contact without being personal. He was aiming to disarm her. This did not seem to immediately sway Jennifer as she continued. Why in the hell do you think that Biggie's replacement will take the fall for you? Biggie's replacement? Wait, could she be talking about? I had to know. Are you talking about Sean? Jennifer didn't even look at me as she responded. Yes, fucking Sean continued with a calm and even voice. Relax. The situation is under control. Jennifer was not calming down. She went on. They contacted my attorney for my statement, and there are witnesses, Sean. There is no way you're going to get away with this. Sean's arrogance can be immeasurable at times. He laughed as he asked, you doubting me? I couldn't believe it. I had to know. Sean, what could you offer him that would make him do a bid for you? Like, what the fuck? Jennifer also remarked, and what if he falters halfway through his sentence and starts talking? Sean responded as calmly as ever. He won't do that. People in jail don't cross connected people on the outside. Jennifer looked deflated. So you'll kill him too? How much does she know? Look, I'm not going to threaten anyone. Sean is smart and loyal. He knows how it works, and when he gets out, he'll be well taken care of. Jennifer spoke defiantly. Sean, they want to question me. I'm not perjuring myself. I'm not going to jail over this. Sean seemed so in control. I admired him for it at this point, but my spirit was broken. I felt bad for Jennifer. She catches one bad break after another, and this was a really bad break. Sean spoke with confidence. Relax, come in, have a drink. Have your lawyers call mine. You'll never see the witness stand. I promise. Jennifer wasn't so sure. She asked him, how can you possibly know that? Sean smiled as he replied, between Sean's confession and the witnesses that gave their accounts, the cops won't need much else. The statement from your lawyer will be fine. Jennifer's next concern popped up. She explained, my attorney? Sean, he's good, but he won't do this. Beaming with confidence, the way only a man with his net worth can, Sean responded, sure he will. Jennifer shook her head defiantly as she responded, Sean, you don't know him. Sean's unbreakable confidence was ruling the day. Jennifer was given in as he told her with a smile, I got this. Sean, are you sure? Sean gave a wink. My attorneys handle situations. Give him my number too. Jennifer seemed leery as she asked, You're not going to threaten my attorney. Sean laughed as he replied, No, of course not. Money talks, baby. He turned to me and said, Take her inside and pour her a drink. I had question of my own. But you were going to make Shine the label's go-to man? What are you going to do now? Sean looked disappointed as he responded. He had the voice, but his flow? He sighed. Well, artists with his talent are a dime a dozen. Looking at Jen, he continued, He's not a once-in-a-lifetime find like Jennifer Lopez. Now he's throwing on the charm. Despite the situation, she blushed slightly. Sean continued,
Okay, people, you guys gotta hold on for a moment because my computer needs to refresh. So let me go ahead and extend that picture out a little bit, all the way out. I don't know where I stopped at, but this is a long thing. So we're just going to keep going and keep going and keep going. Dang, I wish I known where I stopped at. Okay, there we go right there. Now let me go back to, that's the beginning. Damn, where did I stop at, peoples? I don't even know where I stopped at. Ah, boy, that's really great. Here, let me see if I can do this. I'm chime into my no, but then that won't. Yeah, maybe I can do that. I'm gonna go back to my live and see. No, but that ain't gonna even tell me where I stopped at. It may. But go back to my live and see. Let me see here. I'm gonna kind of rewind it back a little bit. Ah, okay. Let me do this. Let me do this. I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna go to my channel. Let me look at the live. Put that up on. Now let me rewind that a little bit. See at what point did I stop? Okay. I stop it right there. Go back a little bit. There's the blank. Okay. I'm gonna play that. And I should be able to see exactly where I stopped at. Okay, let me see if I can read the timestamp on there. Okay, it went blank right there. And so right there. So let me enlarge that. So 1:11:06. So 1:11:06. Okay. So we're going to go back to 1. So we're going to revert it back to 1. Okay, 1:11:06. Good. All right, so let me go here. So we're going to 1. And then we're going to just do 09:06. Bring it right there. Okay. So we're just going to pick up right where we left off right there. All right, people, so let me go ahead and Let's play this.
Blushed slightly. Sean continued, "Let's grab that drink. Let me handle this attorney situation. Relax. Don't worry." We left the foyer and went to have a seat in the living room. He tried to make a threesome happen that night. It didn't work out. Not that day. What? Chapter 15, Queen Bitch. Kamora Simmons and I went out to have drinks. She was looking at me seductively and I was turned on. We were going to go back to my place afterwards, but suddenly, after a sip of my drink, I felt like I had to vomit. I excused myself and barely made it to the ladies' room. When I came back, Kamora asked, "You feeling okay?" "I'm fine. I've been under the weather the last couple of days. I think I'll head home," she said. "Your breasts are looking kind of plump there, girl." Embarrassed, I whispered, "Not in public." She replied simply, "Are you pregnant?" I was taken completely back. "Why the hell would you say that?" She let it sit there for a minute. I bet in her head she was like, "Wait for it, wait for it." Then it hit me. Shit. She gave me a minute before continuing. "So what you gonna do?" I didn't understand. Gonna do? If it's not Sean's? Fuck. If it is? With the shock wearing off, the scope of the situation began to take hold. I responded, "I better get a test." She looked at me with pity. "Damn, girl. Good luck. After what he did to Chris, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes." The desire in her eyes before I got sick was all but gone. As I began to stand, I realized what she said to me, and I paused. She looked at me flatly and said, "Ain't nobody stupid, girl." I didn't know what to say. The question still lingered in my mind despite everything I knew. Did Puffy intentionally kill Chris? She brought me back to the moment by saying, "Go," not knowing what else to say, but knowing I had to deal with my situation right now. I replied, I'll hit you up." She sighed and simply repeated, "Good luck." Chapter 16, Christian. The next day, I was sitting on my couch deep in thought when my doorbell rang. I went to let Sean in. This was going to be scary. We made our way back to the living room and we sat down. Quincy was asleep. Sean seemed legitimately concerned. "What's so urgent?" I didn't know what else to do. I just blurted it out. "I'm pregnant." The air in the room was as thick as J-Lo. He was quiet. What was he thinking? He asked the obvious question. "Are you sure?" I spoke rapidly. "I was on the pill. I'll get rid of it. I'm sorry. I just wanted you to know." "That's wonderful. This is great." I was so confused. "Huh? You're not mad?" He laughed. "Mad? No. Why would I be mad at this wonderful news? I'm going to be a dad with a woman I love bearing my child. What could possibly be better?" He jumped right on the phone and called one of his besties. I could hear Will Smith congratulating him. Sean said, "Yeah, definitely. Hold on. Kim, baby." I was still in awe of the fact that he didn't get angry. And yes, I will admit I was sure he was going to hit me. So it was with relief when I replied, "Yes," he told me excitedly. "We got to have a party." His excitement was contagious. I was getting really excited too. "Yes, a gender reveal," and he cut me off. "Yes, of course, we're doing all of that, but everyone is going to want to sleep with you right before you give birth." Oh my gosh. My heart sank in my chest. "Everybody is going to want to what?" Sean went on with the same excitement. "Well, not everybody, Will, Jada, X." "Sean, I'm having your baby." He verbally waved me off. "It'll be fine." I couldn't help myself. I just started crying. Sean grew quiet on the phone, then spoke low. "I'll call you back." He hung up and took me by the hand. "Baby, I never asked anything from you." I tried to see him through the tears streaming down my face. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of his mouth. I tried to speak. "Sean," he cut me off. "I provide everything anyone could ever want. Do you want for anything?" Sobbing, I replied, "No, but," he continued, "this is the kind of thing I have to do in order to continue giving you this comfortable lifestyle, where you live in the lap of luxury and get to be on TV shows and in movies. I know you don't want this, but do you want all of this to go away?" A whimper is all I can manage. "No," he continued softly. "Then we got to do this." I said, "But Sean, I don't believe in all this spiritual crazy shit. We got here because you're brilliant, not because of these sex parties." He replied, "Do you trust me?" I did. My soul was so broken. I did. I responded, "Yes." He sighed as he said, "Then let's do what we need to do to keep what we have." As I nodded yes, he pulled me in and hugged me. "Thank you, baby. We're going to have a beautiful baby." He ordered me some food, and that night I cried myself to sleep. I was going to be gang banged at 9 months pregnant. I want my children out of this life. My child's going to have a good biblical name, a heavy Christian name. They are not going to take his soul. Oh, I've got chills, guys. Man, this is rough. This is rough. I'm so glad this book is almost over. Okay. I can't believe I just read that. Alrighty. Chapter 17, Broken Promises. I don't know how this managed to stay out of the media for so long, but Sean got to the point where he was incredibly abusive and only his inner circle knew about it. The artists were all too afraid of him to say anything. He had gained so much power, no one would say anything. Puff Daddy was a kingpin. This Monday afternoon, Quincy was in school, and our son Christian was with the nanny, and I still had to make a living. I still loved the camera and had just been cast for a new movie. Sean was coming over to celebrate with me. Just the two of us. I was in the bathroom when he came in. We were supposed to go out for dinner, but he was in a foul mood. Sean yelled, "What the fuck?" I would have to walk on eggshells as I came out of the bathroom, but I found him holding flowers, so I smiled. "You brought me flowers?" Sean yelled, "No. So who the fuck are they from?" I was bewildered and told him honestly, "I don't know. Probably just a fan." He threw the attached card at me. I picked it up and read it. Sean, He slapped me so hard I hit the ground. Sean yelled, "Who the fuck were you with the other night?" I looked down at the card that was lying on the ground next to me and read it. "The other night was amazing. We must do it again." Shit. I tried to explain. Sean, he threw the flowers at me. "That's not how this works. You have my child. You don't touch anyone unless I allow it." I yelled back. "It was just coffee with the producer. It was nothing." He glared at me and asked, "Who the fuck is this producer?" I was trying desperately to calm him down as I responded, "From the movie, babe. Calm down." He picked up the coffee mug and slammed it against the wall. Coffee flew everywhere as he yelled, "Who the fuck does this nigga think he is?" "Sean, he's just some producer. We talked about the role and maybe starring in another movie that he wants to produce." "I swear that is it." Sean exploded even more. "He wants to put the move on my fucking family at the top of his lungs. My fucking family?" He flipped the table over, breaking it. It was a heavy table, but Sean is stronger than he looks. I pleaded with him, "Sean, please." He yelled at me. "What?" I tried my best to calm him down. He probably didn't know. It didn't come up. "You're publicly dating someone else." So he screamed at me, and it somehow seemed even more intense. "So you don't tell him to back off?" "Sean, I didn't." And then out of nowhere, he hit me with a chair. I don't remember anything after that until I woke up in the hospital room. My arm was in a cast hanging from a sling. My face hurt. My eyebrow was in immense pain, as was my lip. As I came to, the first face I saw was the man that had put me here. Sean asked me with concern in his voice, "How are you feeling?" I responded, "Stay away from me." "I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me." "Save it for the lawyers. Stay away from me." We were in a private hospital room and no one can hear me. I could scream like my life depended on it, but it wouldn't matter. If I did ring for assistance, I wouldn't get any. He kept going, "I was just so jealous. You know how I am. You have." He took hold of my left arm, the one that was not slung up in a cast. "You have our beautiful son, our family. It's just," at that point, I had enough. "The one you slutted out right before giving birth? Are you fucking shitting me?" "Stay away from me. Don't come near me or my kids." He continued to plead. "I'm sorry, baby. I promise. I'll never put my hands on you again. I swear. I've heard this song one too many times." I spoke through gritted teeth. "If you come near me or my kids again, I'm calling the cops." A flash of anger returned. "You would use my kid to threaten me?" But then he caught himself. "I understand. You're angry." I glared at him as I cut him off. "I'm serious, Sean." He spoke blandly with no energy. "And tell them what? That you had a car accident? They'll pity you, that you hit your head. He was going to make me look crazy. They were going to believe him. He was a kingpin. You're a fucking bastard." Sean spent the next 6 months helping me heal and working his way back into my life and into my bed. I was so damn stupid. And of course, I wasn't cast for either movie. From what I understand, the producer died of pneumonia. Chapter 18, Sweet Goodbyes. Sean kept his word for the most part until he didn't. I ended up pregnant again. He wanted energy from that too. That would be my last sex party. My body will never be ravaged by so many people again, especially while I'm pregnant. What if something happened to the twins? After that, I wanted out. But when I tried dating someone else, they would end up dead from pneumonia. I knew Sean was behind it. This was not a coincidence. He gets jealous of a guy and they die of pneumonia. I could be next. If I'm going to get out of this alive, I'm going to have to get something to make him stay away from me. I had a plan, but it's dangerous. Sean has a vault where he keeps videotapes of all of his conquests. I started sleeping with him again. After he falls asleep, he was starting to drink heavily. I would get into the vault and get a couple of the tapes, take them home, make copies, and swap them for the next set of tapes a few days later. It took weeks to get all of them copied, and he never knew that I had them. This was my way out. Some of the tapes had things I never would have expected. The gay parties are one thing, but the young boys like Usher, Little Bow Wow, and Justin Bieber, allegedly here, I would have never known. My God, is he grooming Quincy? This has to end. I invited him over one day to confront him and put an end to our on again, off again relationship. He had entered my home unannounced for the last time. He would no longer have the key after today. I was in the kitchen. Kimora and I were sharing drinks. I was scared to face him alone. Sean entered smiling. What's up, Kimmy? Hey, Moore. I told Sean, sit down. Because of my tone, he looked at me stunned and asked, what's going on? What is this? I responded with delight. Me taking my life back? We're done. He answered, hold on. Wait a minute. I was so excited that I wasn't hearing any of it. I shouted at him, no, no, no more. This is fucking over. He looked confused as he asked, where's this all coming from? With disgust, I said, I got the footage, Sean. He looked at me even more confused as he inquired, what are you talking about? Kimura said with revulsion, Usher too? Sean said, wait, what the fuck is going on? Sean stood aggressively and Kimura responded, don't make me call the cops. Sean's anger was creeping in as he replied, this is how it is? I simply nodded. If anything happens to either one of us, it gets released. He seethed as he queried, after all I'd done for you? I don't think I was ever happy as when I said those words, get out. Hissed, he started to leave, looking back with pure hatred. As he walked down the stairs, he turned around in a fury and lunged at me. He knocked me down near the top of the stairs. I was hurt. Kimura screamed, stop. As he began to crouch over me, I kicked at him, hitting him in the kneecap and then in his face. He went tumbling down the stairs. He was hurt. He was too hurt to get up. I called the cops. Kimura left before they arrived. When he left, it was an ambulance. I felt empowered. I felt safe. The Sean Combs days had finally come to an end. This is called Finale. This is chapter 19. Things were okay for a while. I started dating again. It was almost normal until I got serious with someone. Then my boyfriend died of pneumonia. I knew it was Sean. Again, that's when I decided to write this book. A few days ago, my home was burglarized. Only laptops were stolen. I know it was that bastard or his goons. Of course, I had a copy in the cloud that I was able to easily download here onto this new computer. As I continue to write now, I'll send this into the cloud as well. I will send out copies via email and my Google Drive password will be attached so the missing chapters will be assessed. This book must get out. There are so many more chapters to add. This outline is a great start. I have to organize the rest of the chapters and add them in little by little. I planned on spending today working on exactly that, but I'm not feeling very well. Thank God the kids are not here this weekend so I can rest. I called Kimura to cancel our tentative plans for a meetup. When I spoke to her, she said, girl, that doesn't sound like the flu. You want to go to the hospital? That didn't immediately alarm me. I just need some rest, I told her, and quickly got off the phone. But why can't I get my doctor? Why won't he pick up the phone? Oh no. I called Sean from my bedroom where I'm lying in my bed. All I could think about was the kids, my babies who are with this monster, the man that I now suspect of having done this to me. Sean picked up with an air of superiority in his tone that let me know that it was too late for me. He spoke confidently into the phone. Hello? I screamed at him. You bastard. I have your fucking children. What are you talking about? The kids are with me. He replied with a mocking innocence. There's literally nothing I can do. I could only ask, did you ever love me? Instead of answering the question, he responded, the most important thing to me in this world is loyalty. I couldn't believe it. I had to ask, even though I understood. What the fuck does that mean? With the same feigned innocence, he mocked, Kim, is something wrong? He's going to continue this game to the bitter end. I asked one last time, how could you? Again, with the narcissism I had now come to despise, he responded, how could I? Do what? I give you everything. You went to someone else. You left me just like everyone else did. You asked, how could I? How could I what? I yelled, look at what you've done to everyone around you. There is only anger in his response. So you're saying everyone leaves because of how I am and you're going to expose me? He had me burglarized. I knew it. I shouldn't have threatened him. I should have just published a book. I'm going to die like Heavy D, like Biggie, like Pac, like so many others. And it's because he is a monster, plain and simple. Before hanging up, I simply said, that's not the only copy, you fuck. Then I shoot out a group text. I let everyone know he got me. Then I called 911. As I sit here waiting for the ambulance, I am writing this chapter and praying that I make it to the hospital. I don't feel like writing anymore. I may not be around to see it in print. It's okay. I'm sending it out. He won't get away with this. I will have my say, my final words. Sean Combs will get exposed, even if I lose my life doing it. My kids have always been my most cherished possessions. I want the world to know that. But more importantly, I want them to know. That's it, guys. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Now, I read this. I started last night. So I did chapters 1 through 12, and then I'm finishing 13 through what are we? Excuse me. Is it 18 this morning? And I am so full of negative energy right now. I want to do another video to discuss this, with my wits about me, but just immediately I feel sadness for just someone having to go through this. I'm knowing how it feels to be alone, knowing how it feels to not really to know that it's best for you to have boundaries, but to not exercise them. And then like the constant feeling you get of like, damn, I shouldn't have let this happen. Damn, you know what I mean? Like where you let yourself down. And the level of detail in this story is crazy. And I don't know who the writer is. And I know that they say that based off of what I've heard, I don't know this for sure, is that the writer was a white man. I'm going to tell you something about writing. Writing authentically in someone else's voice is hard. Writing authentically in someone else's voice that's not the same gender as you or race as you is extremely hard. If we were to pick apart mini scripts, right, or even just something as detailed as this book, you can kind of pick up that sometimes people don't understand the nuances of being a Black person, being a Black woman, and or certain being socialized a certain way. Having worked in entertainment for most of my life, this person that wrote this book speaks from an authentic place. In conferring with people who work outside of entertainment, different types of Black women, like her personality, her viewpoint, and the way she speaks is very much in line with the types of women that I've interacted with. It's a very nuanced existence. It's a very particular type of person that can exist in this kind of world. And with a person like Sean, this white man would have to be the most gifted man on this planet. Could he have hired someone to do? Absolutely. He could have hired someone that could speak authentically from this voice. Hollywood gets it messed up all the time, largely because storytellers are not from the worlds that they tell stories from. And so we accept things being a little bit off, a little bit weird, or not being authentic. But then the people that are in those worlds see those things and they're pissed. Why do you think people get so excited when, okay, case in point, when we watched Insecure, people that lived here in Los Angeles were so excited because they spoke like us. We saw places that represented things. We heard about events and things that happen here. It was an authentic portrayal of life in LA. Let me tell you that. That's why it felt so good to a lot of us. Okay. When we're watching these movies, these biopics, a lot of times they are created by people who are not related to the industry and are very watered down. And the people that were there are quick to be like, that's not what happened. And that's not even how he would act. And that's not how he would say that. When I tell you, I've met Kim a couple times. I do not know her. I do not know her. But I know Kims. I know girls just like this. It's a certain way that they speak. It's a certain way that they are. Those that are on the freer side of things. And I know Sean's, but I know those types too. Whoever wrote this book is in this industry. Whoever wrote this book has seen a lot. These are the chambers of secrets that most of us will never get to. I'm telling you, they have parties inside of parties inside of parties. They're not really letting anybody up in there that they don't believe belongs. Okay. there's a lot of truth in this book. And though the subject matter is probably something I would never want to see, especially the violence and the essay and things of that nature, the energy stuff, like I never wanted to know that. I never needed to know this. I never needed to know anything like this. But I truly feel like that stuff exists and there's something to it. And that it's not, this didn't originate in the Black community in Black Hollywood. This is stuff that's been happening in this industry for a very long time. And this is what happens to the children of our industry. The children that aren't protected, they are feasted on. The women, the men, the willing souls that really want it that bad are devoured. And I feel so sad. I do. I'm happy that I decided to read this and to share it with people who aren't going to buy the book, but weren't really sure if this was something they wanted to partake in, but then wanted to give it a chance. I'm hoping that my errors in reading weren't too jarring. And again, I need to I need to decompress. Again, my name is Cecily Jamela, and my channel is called Cecily Jamela TV. I produce a news program a few nights a week called Cecily Daily. You can follow me at Cecily Jamela on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and TikTok. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to contact me. I hope you enjoyed this, at least the parts that were enjoyable. And gosh, I hope you have a great day.
And so, peoples, I do have the video of the young man who had written the book and things. Again, I would have to take it and I would have to alter the video just the way that I just did it now, with a free screen, but I would have to alter the voice of it. So I've downloaded it, but it's going through the process of altering the voice because I refuse to play that in its authenticity. So I will have to use an AI voice in order to play it back for you. So that's in the progress right now. This is a way of getting around a lot of the things that these people who you know that will literally copyright strike you and stuff will do. So instead of playing back their content directly from the website, you know, thanks to AI and thanks to the video editing, you can be able to just put a free screen and let the audio play. But as you can see, people, all of that stuff that Diddy did, it's going to come back to him, peoples. It is. He may have scathed a life of being behind bars and things with the Cassie Ventura and the Jane Doe thing. But I've always said, again, people, the Bible tells us you reap what you sow, and he's going to reap what he's sown. He may have gotten away with that, but this was a person who he intimately knew, and she's spoken with her own voice and her own words. And you can take it for what it's worth. I mean, you can believe it or you don't have to. There's no argument here, one way or the other. But at the end of the day, the contents therein of what was spoken is what happened to real life people like Biggie, Tupac, and I'll Be Sure, and then Kim Porter and others. And so money can never clear you from the crimes that you have done. See, you may get away with certain things in this life, but see, God sits high and he looks low, and God already know. And at the appointed time in that the appointed place, God is going to seek his revenge. And so God had allowed Diddy to get away with some things that he did, but not all things, because he still had to pay the price. But this is just a prelude to come. And the Lord is trying to give Diddy an opportunity to turn from his wicked ways and to turn to him. And if he does not, well, then the various things that has creeped out in the past, is which what we have heard, is going to come back and haunt him. Now, God is a forgiving God. He is. And he will forgive you if you turn from your wicked ways, seek his face, and do his will. But it's up to Diddy. Now, he had sat in that courtroom and he had turned around and he had prayed, or, got into a position of prayer and things. Now, I don't know if he prayed to God. I don't know if who he was praying to and things, but I do know that the God that I serve, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is a God of redemption, is a God of a second chance. And so the Lord has given P. Diddy a second chance. Now it's up to Diddy whether or not he wants to go ahead and get on the right path and things. See, we know to a certain degree, but God knows all. God sees all, and God will do all. And whenever the Lord decides, the Lord will make sure that Diddy gets his just due for the various things that he has done. Trust and believe, people. He hasn't escaped everything. He hasn't escaped everything. But the ball is in Diddy's court. And so with Tupac, Biggie, and all of the other peoples, if Diddy ordered the analyzation of these people, well, then their blood is crying up on his hands. And he will have to pay the price for that of what he has done. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? And so as we go and dive a little more deeper, harder and heavier in this Kimberly Porter's situation, well, we're going to uncover a lot more, peoples. We're going to dive even further. It's amazing to hear that Jada Pinkett had got wrapped up into this stuff. It's amazing to know that her husband had got wrapped up into this stuff. And then you heard at the end, Justin Bieber, Usher, and others and stuff had got wrapped up into this stuff. Jamie Foxx had got wrapped up into this stuff. Well, see, people, it is nothing too amazing about all of that, but I'm just surprised that Janet Pickett and her husband had even got mentioned, and that she said that she had encounters with her. And then, as you see, people, if you watch the video, and you have to go to her channel to watch the video, I had saw how Usher had changed from black hair to golden hair, because he had golden hair at one point and it was shaved down and stuff. And that is the role of submission. Remember, TM had black hair at one point in braids, and then she got her hair cut, and then she got her hair dyed golden. Y'all remember that, right? That is the sign of submission. That is the sign of sacrifice, peoples. That is the sign of giving up of yourself. Golden hair, peoples. All of them wore it. And I was really surprised to see that Usher had wore it. Amazing. Truly amazing. I wouldn't have never believed it, peoples, if I didn't see it with my own eyes. And I seen it tonight. And I was like, wow, this is just truly amazing. But see, just like with Jamie Foxx, just like with Jada Pickett and all of the others and things and stuff, look what's happening to them, peoples. Their lives is crumbling. Their lives is topsy turvy now. A lot of things is going on. And see, Hollywood secrets can't be secret forever, peoples. It can't be a secret because the Lord has already told you in his word, and all of these things is going to be exposed, peoples. Everything is going to be exposed. And that's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now, peoples. These devious, devilish, and demonic people think that they're going to get away with the various things that they did, but they're not. They're not, peoples. And for the saints, you got to understand, peoples, that God's word reigns supreme. And when the Lord decides, peoples, is only when these things is going to be revealed. Only when he decides. And I don't care how much money that you may have in things, peoples and stuff, you know, the truth is going to be revealed. And it will. And see, it's people like me that just keeps it real and 100, that doesn't sugarcoat the shit. You know, because everybody has their picks and chooses. Everybody has their favorites. Everybody has people whom they love and they want to protect in things. But see, I didn't say it. And that's the difference that I'm trying to get across to you. I didn't say it. I never put it out there. I'm just only reporting on it. Their friends told upon them. I didn't. I'm just only reporting upon it, peoples. And so it's up to you to whether you believe the various things that they said or not. It ain't up to me. It's up to you. You decide, peoples. Whatever you think, whatever you believe, whatever you want to do, you decide, peoples. So how that were Joseph. I never put this out there first. I'm just only reporting upon what was already out there. And as you can see, there are several peoples that is not here. Biggie Smalls is not here. Tupac Shakur is not here. And so you got to ask yourself the question, why? Why are they not here? And then who has stained the gain from all of the various things that has happened to them? Well, there's one person. Sean Puffy Diddy Combs. Sean Puffy Diddy Combs. And people's, you know, you cannot deny that there is a lot of people that has been around Diddy that has been saying the same thing. Look at Jamie Foxx. Look what happened to him and stuff. And then he cried out. You know, it's amazing to when the people who gets all worked up, riled up, tied up, and tangled up and stuff, and gets mad, and now they wants to do these things to the people. But see, the Lord didn't see fit for Jamie Foxx to die, but Jamie Foxx had told his story. And so it's going to take some balls from the powers that be to go ahead and bring these people to justice. Do you understand what I'm saying? A lot of people believe that all of this that happened to Diddy happened because of the spirits that he used to sell. You know, the wine that he used to sell and things. A lot of people believe it was them because he made them lose billions of dollars. And so they wanted to get the clout back. They wanted to get back and things. And that sounds very good, you know, but I can't tell you, peoples, I can't sit here and honestly say if that's actual, factual, or true. You know, if they're the ones behind all of this, or if there is another powerful entity that is into play. But at the end of the day, peoples, Diddy's a target. He's a target. Now we have to see what the feds is going to do, because they gave a lot of people immunity. And so now are they going and go forth and disrupt the community? Who's next? Is it Jay-Z? Is it Beyonce? Is it TD Jakes? Is it Oprah Winfrey? If it's Tyler Perry? Who's next, peoples? Because see, they couldn't get Diddy on racketeering. So now who is next that is going to be the ones who's going to be indicted in things? Because the Fed lost upon that. So now are they going to go towards the uppers and things and go after them? Or is it now everything is already satisfied and now everything is going to be quiet? I remember the words of what that prosecutor had spoken. There was many other people's names in this. And so now who is next to be indicted? That's what he said. It ain't what I said, peoples. I've always told you anything that I do on this live, I'm going to show you what they said. And that's what they said. So who is next on the list to be indicted? Who is next to be tried? Who is next to go to jail without no bail? Because you've seen a lot of Hollywood people had left the United States. A lot of people. And there was a lot of people who had worked under them that had ended up dying off of suspicious circumstances. Look at Ellen DeGeneres and look at the black man who had came under her and stuff, and he died. Why was she so quick to leave, peoples? Why was all these people so quick to leave the United States? Do you not think that you cannot be touched? Oh, you can be touched. I said you can be touched. They may have a treaty to where they don't extradite the people and things. But I tell you one thing, you may live the life that you think that you want to live while you're here. But when you're dead and gone, you have to meet the master. And when the master goes and showed you a reaccount of all of the devious, devilish, and demonic things that you have done in this life, he's going to say, "Depart from me, ye workers of iniquity, for I knew you not." And then he's going to cast you down into the lake of fire to burn for all eternity. For in the Bible, peoples, it says in Revelations, there will be weeping and wailing and gnashing of the teeth. And you will burn and burn and burn and not be consumed, peoples. And you will be in anguish and agony for all eternity. Never to end, peoples. Never to end, to be tormented for all eternity. Boy, peoples, that's a hard pill to swallow. To be tormented for all eternity. Never ending. Pain, 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 suffering, grief, burning, and never be consumed by the fire. Never. All because you rejected God. And that's what happens to the demonic peoples. So don't think that these people have gotten away with things. Oh, no, they didn't. Because the Lord has already said in his word. And you don't have to believe it, peoples. And that's fine. But just continue to keep doing this devious, devilish, and demonic madness that you're doing. And then close your eyes on this side of earth. And then you will feel and understand how real God is. And you will understand the true wrath of God for all eternity. And then while you're burning in hell, you will always be reminded, well, I coulda, I shoulda, I woulda, but I didn't. And once you close your eyes and you never change your wicked ways, and you never accepted Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, you will burn for all eternity, peoples. And so this man thought that he can do whatever he wants to do. But his time is coming, peoples. It's coming. And for his kids, for his daughters, and for his sons, he probably sheltered the girls, but you boys, you've seen a lot. You've done a lot, because there is allegations and accusations that has been levied up against you, and your time is coming as well, if you did it. Now, if you didn't do it, well, then you ain't got nothing to worry about. Go ahead and live your life and do what you do. But if you did do it, well, then it's just a matter of time before you be in the same space, in the same place as your father. And it's very sad, people. It really is. It's very sad. But see, somebody has to tell the Kim Porter story. Somebody has to tell it. So somebody has to resurface it. And I am through the lenses of the people who has the product. Let's see, I didn't know too much about Kim Porter and things. And so I really couldn't speak in a manner to which I am now. But that of what was shared, I can accent with my own mouth and with my own narrative and with my own commentary what I feel. And I just can call it for what it is. And see, I wasn't wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up within the coast-to-coast beef. West Coast against East Coast, and East Coast against West Coast. And all of that beef. Well, what does it mean, peoples? Because see, at the end of the day, peoples, all it is just going to end up just like this. A tombstone. All of the people who's involved is going to have a tombstone. And this is what your life is going to end up as, a tombstone. Do you understand what I'm saying, peoples? So you can twerk. You can be the freakiest freak that you want to be. You can be the devious, cunning, conniving devil that you want to be. And you can do all of that stuff. You can fake and shake. You can set people up. You can talk about people. You can hit people. You can beat people. You can do whatever you choose. But at the end of it all, peoples, you will wind up in a tombstone. Maybe not like this, but you will be in the ground. Never to make another sound. And never be able to come back around. You're going to be gone, peoples. And you're going to be in the ground with a tombstone. Hopefully. You know, maybe the people will put a tombstone on your grave. Maybe it may take 7 years like TM did with Kanika. 7 years. And finally, there's a tombstone. But she had all of that money, peoples. She just got tired of people like Edward Joseph all the time on her back talking about, why is it that you never put a tombstone on the grave? And then while you did put one on the grave, you thought that we wasn't still going to talk about it. But no, we're going to talk about it. And I'm still going to talk about it because, again, my thing is simply this. Okay, you put a tombstone on the grave, but why did it take so long? And then my question is always going to be, is that Kanika Jenkins in that grave? Because, see, you said it yourself, TM, at the gravesite. Kanika was cremated. One was cremated and one was in the grave. But was it Kanika Jenkins that ever made it to the grave? That's the question. Now we had a young lady, a YouTuber of the name of T Slay, come back after all of these many days and months and stuff of being dormant. And she wanted to try to call me out about the two Kanikas. Well, T Slay, let me tell you this, ma'am. Bring your little ratty ass back to the Kanika Jenkins case and say anything about the Kanika Jenkins case. And I'm going to be on your ass like white on rice, ma'am. And custom the fucking design. Y'all bring y'all asses back and say some shit about the Kanika Jenkins case. Come on back. You know, you're testing the waters and stuff, but see, you don't want to challenge and you don't want to get Edward Joseph started, because soon as you come and try to make a live about the Kanika Jenkins case here up on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter, I'm on your ass. And I will be relentless with it. So come back if you so do choose. And then talk your shit and then watch what happens. Watch what happens. Ma'am and sir. And try to bring back all of that hilarious and nefarious, fictitious madness that you guys have ever been speaking about this case. And I'm going to be relentless. I'm going to do a marathon run on your asses. Both of you guys. Big time. And I'm not going to let up. Oh, you thought that what I did was something. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Bring that shit back. I dare you. I dare you. Bring that shit back and make a live and then watch what happens. See, people, nobody is talking about Kim Porter. And nobody wants to really go in and do a dive in the Kim Porter case. And then the kids, they can sit up here and they can deny all that they want when it comes down to the Kim Porter case. But their mama was a freak. And their daddy is a freak. And it is what it is. And Chance and all of you other girls and all of you boys and stuff, well, then you need to learn the truth about your daddy. He's got convicted of prostitution. He's got convicted of prostitution. Not RICO, but prostitution. Because he paid people to have sex. Now, out of all of the people in the world, why is he paying these men to have sex? And you heard what Kim Porter said in the memoirs and stuff. You know, he effed everybody he worked with. Because she's got the tapes. And the tapes is going to be revealed, peoples, at some point in time. Somebody got it. And somebody made a copy to a copy to a copy. Oh, no, it's not destroyed. No, far from. And it's going to reveal itself, peoples, at some point in time. Because, see, you know, this is a strategic takedown of Diddy. Now, he got away with RICO, but he got convicted of prostitution. And so whether he serves time or not, that's nor here or there. The bottom line is he finally got a conviction on his record. Did you hear what I said, peoples? He's finally got a conviction on his record. Yeah, he's going to come back. And he's going to come back and he's going to continue to do what he does best. And that is to be in the people's ass and have all of that shit all over him. That's what it is, peoples. He's an ass kisser and he's an ass licker. and he loves ass. He's just like Trey Gay, the Thunder Booty. Trey Gay and Diddy are brothers, because they love ass. They love ass, peoples. I ain't never seen two black Negroes, chocolate as fuck, love ass so much. I'm gonna call them the Diddy twins. Trey Gay and P. Diddy. Never mess with a woman's kitty, but are the thunder booties. And that's a pity. No, that's shitty. Because it ain't nothing but shit. All right, Island Girl 49. Good night, ma'am. Blessings to you. And happy 4th to you, ma'am. Well, peoples, I got some work I have to do. It is at the 11 o'clock hour, and I'm going to bring to you that other videos that I had in store and stuff. I'm working behind the scenes right now. I wanted to try to bring it to you, but I couldn't bring it to you in its original form. So I have to transpose it, because the young lady who did the interview, she's known for striking channels and things. And, I don't want my channel stricken and all by using her content. So thanks to AI and thanks to, things, we can switch things up a little bit and still get the information out there and stuff. And and this is the thing that I don't understand, people, is I don't understand why all of these YouTubers all the time get mad when you use their content. It helps out their channel. We give a shout out to them and stuff. It helps out their channel. I mean, they go and use people's content and things. They splice it up and, this and that and the other. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just say, well, hell, shit. And, I'm just going to play it. And if I get strike, I just get strike. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. But I try to give them as much exposure as I possibly can and get the word out. Because as the thing is that I never take credit for what they did. I've only just shared the information of what they did and stuff. And as long as it gets out there and for the people to hear it and see it and get a greater understanding, well, then that's all that matters. That's why I say, hey, I don't care. You guys share this live. I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to shoot my shot, regardless of what the people say or think. And it's a lot of people, they don't like my candidness, but that's okay because I never asked them to. I just have to be and call it for what it is, for the way that I see it, and just keep it as real and 100. That's it. And only use what they said. Damn, these people must have been purchased several $1,000s worth of fireworks and stuff, because, I mean, they've been popping ever since about 8 o'clock. And here it is, almost 11 o'clock. So about 3 hours, they've just been out there steady popping works. Every year, they out there all night long popping works. Wow. And so all I have to do is just look out and see all of the fireworks and stuff going off. So peoples, well, this is it. You guys heard the memoirs. The young lady, she did an excellent job. She already told you what her channel is. You guys go over there and support her and give her some likes and subscribe to her channel and listen to whatever other content that she has. I got way more to come, peoples. But again, I got to do a little bit of work because I got to switch up some things and stuff and do a little things and all, because I'm not going to use it in its original form. But I did my due for today. This is like about the second live that I had did on today, and you guys are still trying to catch up on all of the previous lives and things and stuff. So give you something to think about. And to the people, to the YouTubers, thank you for sending me the good juicy juicies. Thank you for sending me all of this good content and stuff. I'm going to listen to these videos and stuff. I'm going to listen to it, and I'm going to extract, what I can out of it and stuff. And we'll be back live. I'm not ending the Kim Porter story because there's a little bit more that I need to cover about this particular case, and I got to bring it to the attention of the people my way, not how the other people do it. I got to bring it to you my way, and I got to give you my assessment as to what I feel about all that went on. And so, people, they covered it and then they went on to other things and stuff. Well, I think that this is befitting to really bring back about what happened to Kim Porter and refresh the people's memory and refresh and let Diddy know that, okay, this has to be reinvestigated. And if you found to be the perpetrator, well, I'm going to go in hard and heavy on you, Diddy. And I'm going to persuade the people to go ahead and speak up against the madness, because justice needs to be served. And it will be, peoples. But I'm going to pray so hard and fervently that God will bring clarity out of Tupac Shakur, Kim Porter, and Biggie Smalls case, and let the true perpetrators be held accountable, and let the chain of command be held accountable from the top all the way down to the bottom. And whoever had their deviant, devilish, and demonic hands in it, reveal unto the people that, and then render justice just as you said you would. And peoples, before I depart, I want to read this for your hearing. And let me share my screen, peoples. And so, people, it's Psalms, the 24th chapter. And it reads as follows: The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. For he had founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hills of the Lord, or who shall stand in his holy place? he that had clean hands and a pure heart, who had not lifted up his souls unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive the blessings from the Lord and the righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that they seek thy face, O Jacob, Selah. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Selah. And may the Lord have the blessings of the reading, hearers, and doers of his holy and divine word. So, peoples, I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts up on tonight. Tune in again next time to when Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live. Edward Joseph Kitchen, Edward Joseph Gospel Hour, Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2025 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peoples, mask up and be safe. And again, peoples, if the Lord says the same, I will be back on tomorrow. Happy 4th of July to each and every one of you on today. Be safe, be blessed, and get your rest. And if the Lord says the same, I will see you all soon. Until then, peoples, God bless you all. Thank you for watching.